It's a bold start, that's how it works. Welcome everybody to the Arcadia Round Table. It has been a little while since we've done one of these. We're back, we're doing things a little bit differently with a couple of different people involved. So let's get straight in. Let's get straight in by talking to our stalwart friend, very familiar, you all know him, Luke. We actually, we've been talking about getting this going again for quite a while. The last one we did was like 2 months ago though, but it was exemplary. We called everything that was going to happen in the missed time period. It's played out exactly as we anticipated. So you feeling good about that? How are you doing in general?
Yeah, the prophecies have been foretold and we were accurate with everything.
I don't remember any of them, but I'm sure we would have been right.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah, very good. Played a lot of games in that time as well, and there's been a lot of news, so there's a lot to talk about. So looking forward
Played a lot of games, and you've been gallivanting as well, haven't you? You went over to Japan again.
I did, yeah. It's been that long. Yeah,
it's been that long.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was back in March. End of March.
March is not that long ago, right? We're
It feels
pretty much
quite long
practically
ago now.
still in March.
Yeah, what is a month really? But good, and looking forward to talking about lots of stuff.
Who's that sexy car guy? Chat's getting all excited already about our new face. But before we get there, so most of you already know the Demon Hunter. He's been on. Amine has been on this show. He's been on Split Stream. He's been on all kinds of things. He's around all the time playing our community games, and he's back with us again regularly. So Amine, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Been playing a lot of games.
For fuck's sake, ask how you're doing. I want your life story. I mean, right, let's move on from there.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I mean, we'll be nicer to you in a minute. Let's move on to Craig, who's sitting there grinning. He's our mechanic friend. He's come to help if we have any car issues along the way. He's been very present in Discord and turning up to every community games that we've done, all the rest of it. So most of you will already know him quite well. But for those that don't, this is Craig. He's from Yorkshire. Craig, give us
something.
A poem. Don't give us a poem. Just tell us, first of all, how you doing? How you been this week?
All right. Apart from a bit of a wobble earlier on when we couldn't get things working. But no, otherwise, okay.
There was a little bit
Correct.
a little bit of a wobble with the equipment. So this is Craig's first time like being present on the internet with his face like this. He's not had a camera before. He's not been on the microphone. He's not done a podcast before. So he's sitting there sweating because he's all nervous. Or maybe that's me. I don't know. One of us is definitely sweating. Dave says that your head's upside down, but
yeah, I know. It's been bullied already.
Let's dig into it a little bit though, so people know a little bit about you. Some of this is going to be a surprise to me, and some of this isn't. But let's start with what's your favorite genre of game?
It's platformers, definitely. Give me an Astrobot or a Mario Odyssey or something. That's Astrobot were amazing. But
to choose between Astrobot and Forza Horizon 6, you would choose Astrobot.
Yeah, I don't. Why did you do that? No, I don't.
I'm expecting cars to be part of
the but I do like racing games, but not all racing games are created equally. It's like you get a good platformer, and they are something, like Psychonauts 2, Astrobot, Mario Odyssey. But racing games, some are brilliant, like Forza, but some are a big swing and a miss.
And it's a little bit like taking your work home with you, I guess, right? Because you could have said, I hate things with cars. I work with cars all day. I'm not looking at them when I'm playing my video games. But no, you did quite enjoy that as well. So
I didn't enjoy Mechanic Simulator, so whatever, make of that what you will.
Was it accurate? Was it a good simulator?
No, that's what upset me about it. I'm like, I actually want to take that cylinder head off, not just have it appear on the bench over there.
Okay, so you enjoy your work. That's good to know. Let's have... So, say hypothetically, right, you're in a situation where someone you don't know this person, but you can tell that they hate you and they're serious, right? And they challenge you to a game. They say, "I'm going to beat you, and you got to win this game. I'll let you pick the game. I'll let you pick the genre, but you got to win, or you're exiled from wherever you live now. You're exiled from Yorkshire forever." What game would you pick?
The only game that I was ever really good at was Dead or Alive back on the Dreamcast. No, not on the Dreamcast. On the Xbox, the original Xbox, Dead or Alive that came out at launch. There was one character, and I knew every combo, every parry, everything. I was untouchable.
Interesting. Because I'm actually planning to issue that very challenge. I'll beat you on Dead or Alive. No worries. No worries. This is not true.
I beat you at Power Stone, so we could do that if you want.
Well, let's be real though. I beat you more.
Did you?
If we're keeping score, then
you beat me at more games more often, but I don't think Power Stone was one of them.
Was it not? You could be right. I'm not actually keeping score. I don't have it written down, but it is all captured on the internet, I think. So we might have to go back and get to the truth on that one. Give us a little bit of history. Where did you start your little gaming journey?
Believe it was on the Sega Saturn.
Nobody started gaming on the Sega Saturn. There's not a single person in the universe. Like, that was a console that launched too expensive, very messy, out of the blue, and only people that were really into their Sega stuff got a Sega Saturn. So where did you really start your gaming history?
I mean, that was the first console that I owned, but my gaming history would go back to my best mate and him having every console that had ever been conceived, ever. So we're just playing on stuff at his house, NES, SNES, Master System. I mean, he was my age, so he didn't have the really retro stuff.
He was your age now when you were his best friend. That's a bit off.
Yeah, weird.
Fair. Let's look back to Amine, because I feel bad for cutting him off earlier. Amine, what we're going to do is I think everyone's had enough of Craig by now. I don't feel bad. I've never felt bad about anything in my life. But I want to talk to you anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the show along. We're going to talk more to Craig as we go. You'll all get to know him over the course of many podcasts, because he is here regularly as well. Mm-hmm. So every Saturday you can come in and get Craig thoughts. And you can get Amine thoughts and you can get Luke thoughts. But we're going to do what we always do. We're going to start off talking about some video games. And what we've been playing is always a good starting point to do that. So, Amine, what have you been up to?
Lots of stuff. I've been busy playing a lot of games when I'm not working, of course. Been playing recently Mouse PI for Hire and Replaced. Those are the two games I've been playing. And that was after like finishing Crimson Desert, because it was a long game, so I wanted to play something small, something short, and I decided to play Replaced first, which I did finish. I did enjoy it a lot. I think it's a really good game. I think it does bring some unique stuff. Like I never played a game that tries to do like Batman Arkham combat in a 2D format. I don't know if a lot of that type of game exists. It has good graphics. Maybe the trailers were a little bit misleading. I think the graphics were a little bit not as good as the trailers, but they were good enough. I think they were good enough. The story is short. It did not overstate it welcome, but I did enjoy it. And then I moved on to Mouse PI, which was I also completed that game. It's if you don't know Mouse PI for Hire, it's like a
Right.
Doom
Amine.
boomer shooter. Yeah.
Amine,
Yeah.
I'm going to really briefly interrupt you, partly because your camera has gone super zoomed out. I don't know if you're aware of that. It's not important. You can keep it like that if you want. Partly because there's opportunity there to drill into some of these games that you were just talking about, right? So rather than speed through them, let's see. I know Luke has played some of those that you have as well, but let's go Craig. I was a little bit distracted because I was setting up a poll for people to decide whether they like you or whether they like you, but your head is upside down. The poll went a little bit wrong, and I got distracted, and I've got no idea what game Amine was actually talking about. But you were listening intently. So, what do you reckon? What have you got for him? Ask him a question about them games he's been talking about.
I mean, did you think that Replaced overstayed its welcome a little bit at the end?
I said, no, I don't think it did. I think it was good. Sorry, the camera is fucked up, but yeah, I think the game was really good. I don't think it did overstate its welcome. I did not see the story like take a turn at the end. There is like a twist, and I did not expect that. The ending was not as satisfying as I wanted it, but I think it was okay. Not too long. What was it, like 12 hours? Do you remember, Craig?
Yeah, it was something like that, yeah.
So
I think Luke also.
Yeah, all three of you have played Replaced. I haven't played Replaced. I reckon there's a bunch of people in chat that have played Replaced. Also, Patrick's just renewed his bronze badge of membership. So thank you, Patrick. Ever so appreciated, as you always are. That's awesome. So, as we're on the topic of Replaced, Luke, you've been listening to that. What did you reckon? Was Replaced? Would I like Replaced? Did the ending disappoint you? Obviously, don't go into the ending, but yeah.
I don't know if you'd like it. Actually, I'm not too certain what you feel about 2D action platformers. What do you feel about them?
Good question. What's in terms of like specifically the action? What's it similar to?
It's basically, as Amine said, it's like Arkham style combat, but 2D.
There's a fair chance that I would like that a lot.
Yeah. So you'd probably be okay then. Yeah. I finished it last night actually. And overall I enjoyed it. I think the art direction does a lot of pulling for the game, like it's a really, really good looking game, like very, very impressive art style. So that helped it a lot. The combat is solid. It's always difficult, I think, in 2D games to get your combat like amazing. There's only maybe a few like 2.5D games I've thought that have ever done like superb combat on that perspective. So this one is fine. There's not a lot of variation, as in you don't get tons of new abilities through the game. You get a couple. And they change up combat a bit, but the enemies don't really change up that much during the course of the game. So I wouldn't say it overstays its welcome by the end, but I do agree that I think the storyline's a bit flat at the end. It's very abrupt. It only really it kind of middles along for about 9 hours, and then in the 10th hour it starts to pick up and then it ends. So that's the best way I can describe it. And it like, without going into spoilers, I think it tries to like elicit like an emotional response from the player, but it just fell completely flat for me. I was just like, I don't really care that much about what people are talking about at this particular bit. So yeah, it's like it's good. It's good. It's not wasted time. I enjoyed my time with it. But it's not a spectacular game. It's like on a full scale, it would be like a 7 or a 7.5 for me out of 10, something like that.
I reckon I'll give it a go, but I'm going to move on to.
Do you think do you think the graphics were a little bit underwhelming compared to the trailers? Like, not all places looked as good as the trailers. I
remember looking at the trailers and being very impressed, but the only, I don't know if the visuals look as good as the trailers, because I can't remember the trailers. Like, I have to go back and have a look at them. But the one element I did find disappointing was that, you have this a lot of the game is outside Phoenix City, which is the big cyberpunk city.
Yeah.
And then you go into Phoenix City, but you only do that briefly in the kind of hustle and bustle of that environment, and the rest of it is in a facility or different indoor areas. And I don't really feel like they made the best use of this incredible, like, visually and artistically impressive, backdrop. I felt you'd have more time in there, and I don't know, maybe I falsely got the sense from the trailers that you would spend more time in those sorts of areas, but you don't. I don't think it takes enough advantage of it. And I always remember, like, when I I think of this game, I always think of visuals from another game, which is The Last Night, which has been developed for like 7 million years, which kind of was announced before this and still hasn't come out. And that was very visually impressive. So yeah, I thought the visuals look good. The good thing they've introduced now, thank God, is they've put an option to toggle letterbox, so you don't have to do 16 by 9. Which was forced before. So if you're on ultra wide, great, because you don't have black bars, obviously. But if not, it was kind of I hate that in games if you don't have an option for it. So it also doesn't have HDR, which I think is a bit of a miss.
Yeah,
because it's the perfect kind of game for that. So
I was surprised it doesn't have HDR, because this is the kind of game that can like take advantage of it because of the neon lights and the fire in the background and all of that. I do think the combat got a little bit busy at the end with a lot of types of enemies that you have to like. Is that what you had difficulties with?
I was just about to say that is the thing that overstayed its welcome for me. I mean, it's a skill issue, I suppose, whichever way you want to look at it. But yeah, I just couldn't. There was too much in the combat at the end.
Yeah, you do get rushed a lot by different enemies, and I don't know about you, but by the time you get right to the end and you've got like 4, 5 different enemy types doing different things at the same time.
Yeah.
The game response time is quite sluggish. You're quite slow in terms of like input. So like being able to react to everything sometimes was quite
for breaking difficult. Their shield. It just had such a delay on it, and I could never get the timing right.
Yeah. So I agree with that.
I also found that those big enemies were just taking too long to kill, like the big ones. Like it was just boring. Like I go forward, hit them, go back, go forward, hit them, go back, and it took
to charge your gun up to shoot them.
Yeah.
So tell me about this combat then. So you've got loads of different enemies. You said that it's kind of Arkham-like combat. I always find those games, like the kind of context-sensitive reaction things, mostly kind of easy depending on like the rock paper scissors element that they sometimes bring, where you have to have like a different response to different actions, and that's usually where the complication comes in. Does Replace have a lot of that going on? Like, oh, this is like, I don't know, they've got a red flash above them, so I've got to press X, or they've come in with yellow, I've got to press Y or whatever. Like, how does it get difficult?
Yeah,
exactly that. Yeah,
it's basically that. It's red, you got to dodge, which is A on an Xbox controller, and then if they've got yellow, it's Y to kind of dodge counter, basically. So there's a couple of other things they introduced during the game as well, but that's the gist of it.
Cool, I reckon that'll be easy then. I'm well good at that kind of thing, which isn't true. I've been really struggling with Sekiro for that reason, but that's another story. Let's go for, so you were talking about that one being pretty good, not the best game in the world. Luke, you've been playing some amazing stuff, and pick a highlight of the ones that you've been on recently.
Well, I'll pick the one I finished before Replace. I actually put Replace down for it and then played that, and that was Pragmata, which I finished like last week or something like that, and that is a terrific game, and just like a super enjoyable, high polished, really good performing, good looking game, basically. And I think there's been a lot of talk about it being like in a non-pejorative sense, a 360 game, in that it feels like something that was made from that era where, you know, developers were taking more risks in terms of what they were doing. And yeah, I think it feels like that because it introduces a very unique new combat mechanic, but in this like super cool sci-fi environment. And it was awesome. It was really, really good.
Good. Craig.
Yes.
Pragmata. Have you got any interest in it? Are you going to play it?
Actually, my interest picked up a lot for it when I heard somebody say it's a video game. I think that's like the highest compliment you can pay to a lot of games. Yeah. And I thought, oh, actually, yeah, I am sort of interested.
Is that fair, Luke? Would you say that it's a video ass, whatever that was, video game ass, 1990s, I don't know, PlayStation 2 era?
Yeah.
Like, what makes it retro? Like, what's nostalgic about it?
I think it's like gameplay above all else in that game, and so like the story is decent, like it's enjoyable, and the voice acting is good and stuff like that. But you know, the moment to moment of that game is very fun. There's a lot of there's a mix of puzzling and platforming, and then the combat, which is this very unique sort of hacking mechanic to open enemies up, and then you can actually do damage to them. So you're kind of having to puzzle in real time before you can destroy enemies. And you know, they'll throw different enemy types at you, and you've got to consider different things. It's quite complicated to explain in practice because they add a lot more layers on during the course of the game to this hacking mechanic, where you can sort of select different nodes, and these nodes, if you pass through them on the hacking, they give you like different benefits. So one of them is, you know, you could hack an enemy and you could pass through a confuse node, and that will turn the enemy on the other enemies around them, for example. So there's kind of this cool mix and match. There's lots and lots of weapons that you can upgrade. You don't get all the weapons on the first playthrough. They save some of them for a second playthrough, so you can't get everything on the first go. You can upgrade them all. You can upgrade your character, your abilities, your hacking nodes. There's a lot. There's different costumes you can unlock. So it's really, you know, it's just, I think that's why it's a video game, because it's just, you know, everything's in pursuit of you unlocking stuff and enjoying the combat and enjoying the exploration. And, you know, the other stuff mainly story takes a bit of a backseat. Not that it's bad. And it's just great. It's great.
So tell me, I know incredible. I could go right into the demo and learn this for myself, but from what I gather, you've got like combat with guns or whatever, and you're also doing this hacking mechanic at the same time, and that's like its novelty, its twist, right? Controls wise, what buttons do you use to do the hacking?
So you do, basically when you look at an enemy, on the right side, the hacking panel comes up, and use the face buttons to move. So on an Xbox pad, B would be move right, A is move down, X left, and Y up. So you're using that as your, to hack while you're controlling the character, and then obviously shooting as well. So that's how it works in practice.
Okay, so did you have like back paddles and things like that, or are you actually using face buttons and the right analog stick at the same time? Like, it feels like it would get a bit much for a regular person's hand. Is it complicated?
It's not complicated. No, it becomes very intuitive very quickly. I found, because I think when I played the demo way back when, like the first couple of combat encounters, I was like, oh, this is weird. This is like strange. But when you've gotten about an hour in, it becomes second nature, to be honest. I don't think it has controller rebinding, so I didn't use, because I tried to use a back paddle on a DualSense Edge and it wouldn't register. So and I can't remember seeing a binding screen actually, apart from keyboard or mouse. So so I just played with the default controls, but it's more complicated. It sounds more complicated than it is. You quickly get used to it, which I think is a testament to how cool the mechanic is.
So, point of clarification there, you used the DualSense Edge. Were you playing on the PlayStation or the PC?
I was playing on PC.
Does that mean that's your favorite of all the controllers right now?
Yes. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I got one recently, within the time since our last podcast. I have acquired, and I've been using one of those as well. So I was curious, and it is lovely.
Lovely controller.
Did that make you better at games, Asa?
Did it make me better at games? You're referring to the poll that I put about the Steam controller, aren't you? It hasn't yet. I'm still terrible at most things, apart from Dead or Alive, which I'm possibly the world's greatest at. Like the original one, the Xbox one, or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. No, there's still hope for me, though. I mean, there's still the Steam controller. I can get used to using the gyros and the haptics and all those kind of things. We can talk about that in a little bit as well. I mean, you've done the Pragmata demo, haven't you? I think.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did it. I tried it. I was not sold on it by the trailers. Then I tried the demo. It was weird at first, like when you use mouse and keyboard, you use like your mouse to hack, like you move your mouse in directions. I found it a little bit weird at first, but after I wanted to replay the demo, another try, and it felt like normal. I got like used to it and all of that, so that was good. I don't know if I play it, if I get bored over time of the same mechanic. I know that they add like certain nodes, like Luke said, that you have to, if you use those nodes when you're hacking, they give you like a special ability that you will use once you shoot. I'm not sure. I might buy it, but not yet. I'll maybe play it like later in the year, not right now.
Look,
but I'm happy. Sorry, I'm happy that Capcom is doing something unique, something different. That they are trying to get like a new IP going on. So that's good.
They are, and they've got plenty going on this year. It's a continued, quite long-running hot streak for Capcom. So definitely look out for stuff they've got coming. But look, do you reckon when you're playing this game, if you don't like the hacking mechanic, can you just ignore it? Can you just be like, shut up, child, sit on my back or whatever.
No.
Don't make a noise. I'm going to shoot stuff.
Nope.
You can't.
Nope.
I mean, you could, but it would take you a long time to kill enemies. Like,
okay, challenge accepted.
It's like, it's just a handicap, basically, if you're... Maybe it's like an extra hard mode.
Maybe they have accessibility option. I don't know if they do have that. Maybe.
Yeah,
just give me the option to leave the child behind, and I just play like a shooter.
Yeah, I know. No, at least not standard modes. You can't do that.
Fair. Craig, anything on Pragmata?
I want to know who felt like they wanted to become a father after playing it. Did it make you want to be a father, Luke?
No, it didn't. It didn't change my views on that. But the relationship between Hugh and Diana is very cute in it. Like it's quite different to like like weird analogy, but like Joel and Ellie, right? Like it's a journey. Like there's kind of ups and downs. They start off on a certain footing. They do none of that in this game. It's like they meet and then they're both immediately like best friends forever, basically. With really no kind of like, it's super optimistic about that relationship, which is quite nice. So yeah, but it didn't change my mind.
That's a deep question. You didn't expect it, did you? You thought, that's a video game podcast. I'm not going to get asked about my life choices in a.
That's what Craig's here for.
It is what Craig's
the
here for.
introspective stuff.
Craig.
Yes.
That's enough, Pragmata. You tell me about something you've been playing.
Talk about Grounded 2.
You can talk about Grounded 2 if you want, because
I've played a bit of Hades 2. And I wanted to, because I enjoyed the first one, but I'm not particularly good at it. I made it to Hades one time, and I didn't beat him, and I kind of dropped off it after that. But I would say that I enjoy Hades 2 more for the combat feeling more ranged, certainly at least with the weapon that you start with anyway. But I know you said you didn't care for it for that reason, did you not?
It's not that I didn't care for it, it's that it is easy mode playing at range. Not through the entirety of the game.
Me?
But yeah. So you're enjoying it more though. So have you just picked that up when it came out on? No, you're a PC person at the moment, aren't you? So you picked it up when it came to Game Pass on the PC. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And you love it? You're gonna keep playing it?
I mean, yeah, it's just good to jump into, because with my skill level being what it is, runs don't take long. So if I've got 10 minutes to fill, I can just go on and have a run. And yeah, that's that. But I'm just biding my time until Forza comes out at the moment, just picking up the odd thing here and there. And I've done everything I can do in Grounded 2, content-wise, at the moment, till the summer update. So I'm just running around, tinkering bases, making things here and there. But yeah.
Do you like? So I know you've played the hell out of the first Grounded. I know you've played a lot. Well, everything that there is to do in Grounded 2 at the moment. Do you like other survival games, or is it specifically something about being small that?
Yeah, weirdly, I off the back of playing the Grounded games, I thought that maybe I actually like survival games now. So I've tried other ones to varying degrees. Like I do like Enshrouded, and I keep looking at it sat there in my Steam library thinking, yeah, I'm going to get back into that, because there's been another update, 2 updates for it really since I last played it, introducing water, and then there's a load of new skill tree reskins and stuff like that have happened on this latest update. Trying to think if there's any other survival game though that I didn't really care for that much. Oh, there's one on Steam like that you think's like Grounded called Small Land, which is like you're some sort of elf or pixie or something like that. So you're tiny, living in toadstools, all that sort of thing. And that's a survival game, but that didn't click in the same way that Grounded did. Not even slightly.
There is Subnautica coming. Maybe that's close to Grounded. I don't know how it plays.
Check my Xbox achievements. I've 100%ed Subnautica.
Oh, okay. You will play the second one?
We know this. He grasped himself up yesterday while we were playing in community games. He admitted he got Subnautica on Xbox. He cheated. He's undermined the entirety of his Xbox account. Craig's gamer score is null and void. He has to start again for cheating. So if you want to know how to get a spare 1,000-odd gamer score, get in Discord, message Craig directly, and he'll tell you how to cheat. So, Craig, Grounded 2.
Yes.
Is it like markedly better than Grounded the first one?
So the way that I had played Grounded 1 before it went 1.0, and I jumped in at different periods through its early access development, really liked the concept of it, but bounced off it every time. Maybe because I didn't have people to play with, I don't know. But then when the second one launched and there was a few of us on the Discord jumping in, like Chronic and Amine, and we all jumped in, I was just hooked. When we went down and got the ant eggs and we hatched the buggies, and all of a sudden you've got the ant to ride and you've got all this place to explore, I just couldn't put it down at that point. But then once I'd completed all the content and everything that was available, and it was getting a little bit stale while I was waiting, I played Grounded 1 then. And I'd say obviously Grounded 1's a complete game and it shows because it's optimized properly and everything, and you know, it's everything's just there. The second one was still pips it, I think, just because of the buggies and the size of the map, and especially with the newest area and the verticality of it, something that isn't in the first one. And I think this stands to be head and shoulders above the first when it's a complete game.
Okay, so you reckon hold off, don't play it yet until there's more content, is what I'm taking from that.
Yeah, no, seriously, I would take that from that because I'm stuck now. I'm hooked on it. Like, I can't wait for the new content to drop. But going into that and playing it when it's a complete game, that'd be the way to enjoy it. I mean, I might even start over when it goes 1.0 at that point. But yeah, wait.
Okay, good.
Because it's poorly optimized. It's tragically optimized.
I had heard that about it from when a lot of you were jumping on when it first came out. I'd hoped it kind of improved since then, but still a difficult play, is it?
If anything, it got worse. It was at a point where it was okay, and then when they released the spring update, it got worse again.
Yeah.
With crashes and stuttering.
Okay, well, I'm gonna, like, you know me, I don't particularly play things early access if I can help it anyway, and you've not actually invited me to play it, so there's no peer pressure or fear of missing out there, which is a joke. I'm always invited to play everything. So let's go to, I'm curious, and I know a couple of you have been playing this. I don't think you have, Craig, but I think Luke and Amine both have. Crimson Desert has been making some waves recently since it came out. It didn't review as being the best game ever, but it did all right for itself. It's done very well for itself in terms of actually getting sold and played by a lot of people, and the developers have put out a lot of updates very quickly, like burning through their roadmap. They're ahead of schedule on what they promised to deliver post-release. Luke,
yeah,
tell me about Crimson Desert.
I don't really have much to say. I've only played about an hour of it, so
you hate it.
So,
like, essentially, that's pretty damning from Luke, because it's like obviously gone, oh, I'm going to play Replaced instead, I'm going to play this instead, I'm going to play Saros instead, I'm going to play all of these things instead. So the first hour of Crimson Desert was tepid for you.
It's not that it's complicated. Crimson Desert is an absolutely gargantuan game. So it's very daunting and difficult for me to get into those kind of games because I don't have the time to dedicate to something like that, right? Which is massive. So, and I am someone who would, a game really has to grip me for me to just like continue to play it over and over and over and like keep going like that. So, the first hour didn't, because it is very tepid. The first hour, it's pretty slow. Obviously, after a certain amount of time, the world opens up and you can kind of off you go. You do what you want. Interestingly, my wife has played 131 hours of the game, and she's finished the main story, and now she's mopping up. I say mopping up. There's probably still like another 150 hours left or something like that if you want to do everything. But she's doing the other stuff, and I think like it left her very confused, because I think the way she described it to me was she basically said like, and there's no such thing as an objective view of a game, but I understand what she means by this. She kind of said, objectively, this is not that good, but she loved it. So, you know, I watched her play. I've seen her play hours of this, and it's certainly like an incredible world. Like there's new stuff happening all the time. There's completely random shit that pops up that's just like out of left field, and you're like, what is this? The story is woeful, and I mean like woeful. It's awful. It's not even. It's very clear that they had like a bunch of ideas basically for a story. They couldn't find a through line for any of those ideas, but they put them in anyway, and they tried to make kind of a wrapping around it. So it's really, really bad. It's not even, and I've heard some people being like, you know, being kind of kid gloves with it, like, oh, it's not the best story, you know, but it's quite, no, it's just shit. It's just a terrible story. It's a really, really bad story. It doesn't make any sense. Things aren't contextualized very well at all. But despite that, everything around it looks, it's fun. She really enjoyed it. So enjoyed the combat, and like I said, the big draw is the world, I think, for this game, because it is so impressive, and visually it's just amazing. I mean, their engine is incredible.
It's weird
and
for me
they've
that
patched a lot of it. So
yeah, it's weird to me that like you've got like this world that you're talking up, but not a story to back it up, and those things kind of
it's quite bizarre.
Yeah. So the world doesn't like stand to tell its own story, though. Do you actually need a little bit more of the narrative to get it there? Or where does it fall apart? What's so wrong with this story?
The world building seems quite good generally. Like there are lots of disparate kind of factions in this world, and it's all kind of pretty reductive. Like you've seen this kind of world building a lot before, but it's decent enough. The thread of Cliff's story is just nonsense. I mean, it just doesn't, like, there's just nothing to it, basically. So I think that's where it is. Your protagonist story is really uninteresting. Everything around the protagonist is much better. But I wouldn't say the world narrative, there's tons of lore. There's tons of like lore entries you can get in this game and stuff like that. So they clearly like put some effort into this. It's just that they had no idea how to structure a story, like an actual kind of point A to point B to point C, and here's the end. They didn't know how to do that. I mean, they came out when they were talking about the sales and stuff. I think the CEO said, "Yeah, it's not quite where we wanted it to be."
Yeah, they said they added that really late. The story was they argued amongst the development team, didn't really have one lined up, and just shoved something in the closing months of development. From what I hear, so
it feels like the area where this feels like most like the MMO it was supposed to be is in fact the story, because it is just peripheral to the experience, really. So
it's weird because obviously, like when you look at open worlds and storytelling and things like that, it's hard not to kind of think of the From games and Elden Ring and so on, and the way that they deliver story, by kind of not unless you really go sniffing for it. This one must actually have a bad story that it then drops in front of your face and makes you pay attention to for it to actually bother you in that way.
Well, you can't, like, I don't know if they've patched this in now, but you can't skip cutscenes. You can fast forward them, which is hilarious in of itself, because all the music gets sped up and sounds like shit. So but you can't actually skip any cutscenes. You have to suffer through them. I think even like the boss cutscenes, if you die to a boss and you come back, you've got to watch the same cutscene again.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why they put it so front and center, but it's terrible.
I mean, you normally avoid high fantasy games like the plague. You don't like swords and sorcery, as far as I know. They're just not your genre. You'd take a gun over that if you had the choice. But you have got Crimson Desert, and you have put a lot of hours into it. How are you finding it?
Yeah, I don't usually play these games. I rarely play fantasy game. Maybe I can count them on one hand. High fantasy games. I found the game good, but it deserves all the criticism that it's got. Like it's a mess. It can be frustrating at times. It can be amazing at times, because like you find something that you did not expect to find in the game. Like you find I cannot say spoilers, because that's the beauty of this game. You'll find some amazing things, some discoveries, and that's what's kept me going, like discovering new stuff. But the gameplay is not good, not that good. The combat is good. The combat, I think the combat against enemies, it has like, you have wrestling moves, you have sword fighting, you have spears, you can dual weapons. There are good boss fights. Some of the story boss fights are like a little bit too easy, because the journalist did complain about it. They were very, very hard, apparently, before that. But they left the optional bosses as difficult. Yeah, the story is such a mess. Like it kind of makes sense, but it's so not interesting. And your character is the most uninteresting person. He's like the most yes man I have ever seen. Like he meets someone, that someone tells him, "Oh, I need that thing," and he doesn't question it. He will just go and do it. He will say, "Yes, I'll go do it." He doesn't.
Right a lot. He goes, like,
yeah, all right.
All right.
That
Stock response. It's so weird.
yeah, he's like, he doesn't have any personality to him, and they just like, yeah, go on, Luke.
No. I was only going to say that I saw that the voice actor, I think, did an interview with Skillo. And I think he said something like he would like that he did so much recording for this game, and he would get like pages of dialogue, and he'd be like, "But what is going on? Like, I don't understand what's going on." And they'd be like, "I don't know what to tell you. Like, can you just like read the lines?" So he was just like so out of the loop as to the story, which is a testament to how weird the story is. Sorry, Amine, I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, it's okay. Like, it's not interesting at all. Like there is no, like, the game just tries, like, you know how games hide tutorials really well, like in missions. They give like a good purpose. They think about it. How do they introduce you to a mechanic and make it make sense in the story? Like in this game, they introduce you to the mechanic in a way that is just weird. They tell you, like, when you start the game, after the prologue, you go. They tell you, go to this bar and do an arm wrestling with this guy, and then they can tell you, go to this beggar and give him like a coin. And then they can tell you, go randomly, nobody told you to do this, go to the sewers and rescue this girl.
There's like no context. I know, because I did this bit. There's like no context for what you're doing. It's just like, give the coin to the beggar, and then it puts it on your map. And then you're like, why? Why though?
Okay. It has some sort of meaning, because your guy is meant to be like very nice, and he was like chosen because he was very nice. But it doesn't, like, it's not good.
So tell me then, because you just said a little bit ago that the gameplay's not very good, but then you went on to say that the combat is good. So what is it that drags the gameplay down?
Yeah, the combat is good. It's like a Musou game. Is that how they call them? Like, you have a lot of enemies on screen and you fight them. Like, there's a lot of them, and you kill them pretty fast. The thing that's not good, it's not responsive. Like, sometimes it's not responsive. They added so many things, and they saw like Red Dead Redemption, and they said, let's add that sluggishness of Red Dead Redemption that makes it feel real. And like in combat, they removed that a little bit in combat. Like, it becomes like more fluid, but when you're not doing combat, he becomes like sluggish. You move forward, you let go of the forward button, and he keeps moving forward. And you do a mistake, or you need to press a combination of buttons to do a certain thing. Like, for example, when you enter, you need to press a button to enter ranged weapons mode, and it automatically defaults to an auto aim, even if you are on mouse and keyboard. And you cannot use some of the abilities that you need sometimes to combine with that ranged weapon mode, and it just doesn't feel good. You need to switch back to the hand combat stuff, and then switch back to the ranged mode to get around that. So, and you need to press so many buttons. Like at the start, they did not even have I for inventory or J for like journal. You know, like some games do that, but they did not have those shortcuts.
Outrageous. Okay, that's enough Crimson Desert, because I want to talk to Craig, and Craig's not played Crimson Desert. Craig, you've been delicately moulding phalluses.
Kiln. I really enjoyed it. and not just because of the phallus.
Tell me more, because we all played, well, Luke didn't, but Amine, you and I, we all played Kiln, right? Which is Double Fine's little pottery game that came out a week or two back. MOBA-like kind of thing, but you enjoyed it. Tell us a bit more about it.
It's just quirky. It was just a good idea, because I initially going in thought, okay, so we're going to make these pots, and there's the small, there's the medium, and there's the heavy, and that'll be that. And it doesn't matter what shape you make them, you know, they don't amount to anything. But it's a bit more nuanced than that, isn't it? Because there's within each weight of clay that you made, so your small pot, you then there's different abilities depending on the shapes that you mould them into. A vase will do one thing that a plate won't do, and one can carry more water than the other. So for a funny little game, there's more to it, isn't there? And one of you can be a plate that's got more health that can't carry any water, and you hang back and defend your kiln. Well, somebody makes a jug that's like a bit, you know, that can't take any damage, but then you can run up and try put their kiln out. And then I was just a menace when I was a little guy, because they couldn't do anything about it. They couldn't get me. I was just in and out.
Yeah, it was surprising when you get into it. Like you say, you've got the different pot shapes. So you go and make a pot. It's freeform the way that you sculpt them. So you've got a spinning pottery wheel, and you've got your hands, and you manipulate it into a vague shape that it matches up to one of its. I think there's about 8 different kind of classes. So you said like the bottle, the vase, the jug, and all of these kind of things, the plate. It best matches the shape that you've made to that, and then you can manipulate it a bit further to get a blend between how much you can carry and how tough you are. So you've got some customization in how you make it. But what surprised, I think, all of us, because it's not immediately obvious, is that when you get the other sizes of pots, the small ones and the large ones, those 8 classes still exist, but they have a completely different set of abilities. So you end up with kind of 24 different classes available, essentially, by the time that you've got the small ones and the big ones. So a small jug, a medium jug, and a big jug will all have a very different ability to kind of define their role in how the game plays out. And actually, it was pretty fun. It's just it's light. It plays out kind of like a MOBA, so a League of Legends kind of thing, but with a lot stripped away from it. So there's not like towers and points and enemies crawling down lanes and things like that. It's just kind of the end point of a MOBA where you're trying to get to the kiln and put it out, kill people, respawn, all the rest of it. It's easy to pick up. It's easy to play. The matchmaking didn't entirely work because Amine couldn't play from his PC and we had some trouble there. But it was kind of nice for a few hours, and I'm not sure if there's many more hours played left in it. Was where I got with it. But Amine, you played it with us. What did you think of it? You
know what surprised me the most? The horrible optimization, because it was fucking horrible. It's a simple game, and it runs like at 90 FPS on a 5090. That's not acceptable. It doesn't look that amazing, and on Xbox, oh god, it was sometimes going to 20 FPS. But once you get into it and you ignore those problems, optimization problems, it's fun. I think they should add more mods. I would not be surprised if they added an actual MOBA mod, like full MOBA, like with minions and all of that. It could be like competitive and yeah. I was surprised also with that like different shapes are classified as different types of classes that have different abilities. I did not like watch the trailers closely, so I was not expecting that. That's good. That gives it a little bit more depth. But yeah, they should add more mods if they want this to stay alive, and they should maybe have a ranked mode. But for now, they don't have that. They don't have a ranked mode, right?
No, at the moment, you've got only the one option from the menu. You've got your tutorial, and you've got play the mode that they call Quench, I think, which is the very basic, simple, like takes 10 minutes for a game kind of mode. It's got no kind of communications built in as well. So if you're playing with like the League of Legends crowd, like a bunch of arseholes, sorry, Johnny, you won't know it because it's all muted by default. You won't hear a word of complaint. So you just get on with it and have a nice time. But it is simplistic, and it would make sense. Like you said, it's got the potential to have modes with more depth, to kind of expand more towards the MOBA side. But I think they're playing it by ear and taking feedback on what direction they should go, right? So they've got some options on the roadmap. Hopefully they'll still be playing it by the time they do deliver more in there. Luke, have you had a look at Kiln at all? Is it of any interest to you? Do you like MOBAs at all? Any of them?
No. No. I think as a concept, it's unique and looks interesting. I just don't have multiplayer only games have to do a lot to get me in anyway. So unless it's like something that really, I don't know, just suddenly appeals to me, it's not something I'm going to download and play. I don't think anyway. But I might give it a go. Though Amine's optimization report doesn't fill me with much joy. So maybe not until it's had a few more patches.
To be fair, I didn't have I was playing on PC. I didn't check out the Xbox version at all, and I didn't have issues with it. But I wasn't trying to play it at super high frame rates either. So it did the job that I needed it to do. How was it for you, Craig? Did you have any kind of performance issues while you were playing it? Not like, I know you weren't good at the game. I mean, like technical performance issues.
I was incredible at the game.
To be fair, we did win. We won because we were on the same team this time, so we could be nice to each other. And we won like 90% of our games. Yeah.
No, but otherwise it ran fine for me. I didn't have any problems.
Okay, good. Let's do, actually, whatever you want. Luke, have you got any more games that you wanted to talk about? I know you've got Saros, and we'll get onto that in a second, but have you got any other ones that you want to throw in there?
I think the only other thing I've been playing is, which Amine mentioned, is Mouse PI. Which is very fun, which is really, really good. I'm enjoying that a lot. It is just effectively a boomer shooter, but as if it was some 1935 mouse-centric noir film, basically. So it's very good. Really, really fun. But the other one is Saros, which we can talk about separately.
Is Mouse PI kind of paced quite towards action?
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically like Doom, but you're a mouse. So
yeah, it's like Doom 2016.
Yeah,
Doom 2016. Yeah. You can say Eternal. It has some
it has
grappling
some
hook
stuff that's a bit like Eternal, but it's very fast boomer shooter type stuff. It's really quite good. It's really, really good to play.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I think the only criticism I will give it is maybe it's too easy on normal.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm even more interested. Yeah. I love things that make me pretend I'm good at games.
Yeah, you won't struggle on it on the normal difficulty. But I actually quite like that because I like the power trip of boomer shooters when you're a bit too strong for stuff. Mm-hmm. Apart from like the Doom Eternal DLC when it just became like absolutely ridiculously difficult. Like really, like it's brilliant, but it was just like really challenging. But this one, it's easier than normal by default, I would say.
Okay, good. So the obviously it's got its kind of Steamhouse Mickey aesthetic, but does it go into like have a story? Does it give you all these cutscenes, or is it more just boomer shooter?
No, it's like a full noir investigation film, happenings, twists, turns. You've got like
it has Troy Baker.
It has Troy Baker as the main character. The voice acting generally is very good across the board, not just Troy Baker. And this kind of there's a very, very light touch detective bit that goes on in between missions where you go back to your like detective board. So you don't actually do like it's not a puzzle. You just put some pictures up, but it's like a palette cleanser before the next mission, basically, into the setup. What you're going to do. So
I was hoping when you said it had Troy Baker, I was hoping that you were going to say it's not voiced. He just does the sound effects.
Yeah, he just,
explosions.
he does some sound effects as you load the game. He actually starts doing the theme tune. So you'll get that.
That's what I want. Okay,
Mhm.
good. Good. Okay, that's
it
on my
even
list.
has like the Dark Ages. Like you have 2 types of each weapon.
Yeah.
You will see later. You will have 2 shotguns, 2 like guns that don't make sense in reality. I'll just say that. You have 2 types of like I would say big rocket launcher, something like that. But yeah, it's good. You should try it. It has too much cheese, as IGN said. It gave it 6 because too much cheese in.
Puns. So many cheese.
Craig,
Yes.
got any others that you want to throw in before we go into the topicy stuff?
I very, very briefly played Super Meat Boy 3D, and I know FTW's been
FTW's
playing
got through all of it, but you've had a crack. You love your platform games. This is a especially challenging one. How did you get on?
It's an especially challenging one, yeah. I only played a real little bit of it. And don't get me wrong, it's got something, but I know that I will be throwing controllers through windows if I... Like, when FTW said he'd done... How many had he done? 200 and odd to get through one level?
Mm-hmm.
I thought, no, absolutely not.
Are you actually a controller thrower? Have you done that before?
Not recently. A long time ago, maybe.
He's mellowed out.
No, not... Yeah.
Okay. Either of you had a go at that one? Or fancy it?
I got to World 3, I think. So I got relatively like a good few hours into it. It's fun. It's very difficult. It's very
no
very
controllers
difficult.
thrown though.
Yeah, no control. Oh, I played it mostly handheld.
Right. Oh yes. So.
Yeah, you can't throw them. I mean, you could, but I don't want to. And it's not the best to play on handheld because it's not very well optimized because it's UE5, I think. So it's probably better to play on like console or desktop. Although you can get like a good 60 on handheld. But yeah, it's like super difficult. Like there was, I think, a boss fight. The second boss fight took me 60 something tries. The good thing about it is you reload like that, like you're straight back into it. So that's quite nice because you're not waiting around to go back into it. But there is no room for error at all in the platforming. Like other platformers, like Mario's or Astrobots or any of these, like if you get it a bit wrong, you're usually okay. Like you can still do the thing. This one, you've got like no room for error at all. If you get it even slightly wrong, you're dead. So yeah, it's very difficult, but it is fun.
Okay, I'm not going to try that one. I don't think platformers are not my forte. I like a Psychonauts or a. I haven't played Astrobot yet, but I'd probably like it. But the ones that are going to kill me for my lack of ability to jump correctly and accurately, don't know if I could handle that stress. I've been playing a lot of stressful games, and I need a break. I need some easy mouse PI. Amine, any other games that you want to throw in there?
No, I have not been. Well, I played all those games. I need to start a new game because I finished all of them. I started The Darkness, but I cannot talk a lot about it. I like it so far.
The old,
it's
the first one.
The Darkness 2.
Yeah,
The Darkness 2. It still surprisingly looks good. I never played it before. It looks really good on PC.
Good.
Yeah, so 2, not 1.
It has a good
right?
art style.
One.
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
So I imagine I've played it for a long time, but I imagine the style holds up just fine.
Yeah, it does. It does. I need to play it. That's what I started.
Okay. Okay, right. We're going to talk about Saros in a sec, but first we're going to talk about all the things that I've played in the last 6 months, motherfuckers. We're not actually. One of them that I have been playing, though, that leads into Saros is because Saros was like, on the verge of releasing, and I kind of wanted to be interested in it. But I had a lot of trouble with Returnal the first time around. So I thought I'm going to try and convince myself to have a crack at Returnal and get through it, get into it, get into the rhythm of the game and understand it so that I'm better positioned to decide whether I would enjoy Saros or not. And it started badly. I started Returnal and fell into the same place as I did the first time around, where it's kind of... It feels very obtuse and very overly punishing in terms of its progression mechanics. But then something did click. I changed my approach to the game to do what I would never normally do in one of these things. In pretty much every video game I've ever played, I'm fairly thorough in what I choose to explore. So if there's a big marker saying this is the main quest, go this way, I'll typically go the other way, as most people do in most games, because that's just how you approach it. But Returnal's lack of progression, or the way that it has its progression systems, I would describe it as quite checkpoint focused. And as soon as I started driving towards objectives, it became a lot kinder to me, that game. It became a lot more manageable. So now I'm starting to blast through it, because now I've got, I've learned, even without without that focus, and the game is difficult. The first world is as hard as the third, as far as I can tell. It's difficult, and it's really easy to just mess up your run and completely waste your time, and the progression systems are really harsh, so it is really easy to just waste time. But now that I've changed my approach to it, I'm blasting through it pretty quick, and I'm having quite a bit of fun with Returnal. So give it a couple of weeks, and I'll probably be ready for Saros. But I can't talk about Saros yet, unlike this gentleman, Luke, because you have made a start on it, all right? You've made a start on Saros. How much have you put into it so far, and how are you finding it?
I've put about... I'll double check, but I think I put about 11 hours into it so far since it came out. So quite a lot, basically.
It's quite a lot.
Yeah, for me in that period, which is probably a spoiler for how good I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. Tell me about it. Tell me about Saros.
It's fucking awesome. Like, it's, I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. I said before, Returnal was my game of the gen, and I loved it. Like, I loved nothing about that game was mediocre to me. Everything was standout. So story, sound, gameplay, that sort of stuff. So, I was there was a bit of trepidation going into Saros, because I'm like, how could it possibly sort of measure up to Returnal for me? Obviously, other people are going to be different, but so far, I think it might be a little bit better. So, and there's like different reasons for that, but it is. It's don't get me wrong, it is very similar to Returnal, right? And it's clear that Housemart wanted to kind of do what they'd done before with Returnal, but maybe expand the scope slightly, and obviously change some of the friction that some players had with Returnal that caused people to bounce off. But in terms of things like the story structure, how that's told, what is going on, very similar to Returnal. The run stuff is similar to Returnal as well, but where I think it excels, where I think it's definitely better than Returnal, are art direction. I think the art direction is incredible. Like, they leveled, and Returnal's like, uses this very like Alien Eldritch inspired aesthetic throughout the game, and it's really good at that. But this is just like mixing in like these, kind of Egyptian mythology things as well, these like motifs, and the biomes are so diverse and so visually interesting compared to Returnal. You've constantly got the sun and the in the sky, and like creating like this vortex of clouds that goes into it like in real time all the time, which is super cool. And then they've introduced the eclipse mechanic, which basically at some points in some biomes, some of it is mandatory, some of it it's not, but you have to activate what is the eclipse basically in the world, and it kind of ramps up the difficulty and also the reward as well. So the whole visual aesthetic of the game changes. It becomes much more ominous, much darker. And then enemies are much more difficult as well. And you'll have even stuff like in things that weren't environmental hazards before become environmental hazards now. So it's doing all of these different things. And then the moment to moment is just like Returnal, but more refined, basically. It just feels incredible. And I think someone mentioned it, but it's like a third person version of Doom, basically, is the best way I can describe how it feels moment to moment. It's very similar. It's constant run and gun. You cannot stay still.
I was just going to ask actually, because when you mentioned Doom, the trailers that I've seen of Saros show like collecting certain projectiles, right? Which made me think Doom: The Dark Ages.
Yeah.
But then you said it's
Yeah.
constant run and gun, and Doom's little tagline was like stand and fight or whatever. But so which Doom are we talking? What's it actually? What makes it Doom
It's
like?
closer to Eternal than it is Dark Ages, although it does have some things that Dark Ages had. So, for example, you got all these projectiles and they're different colors. So blue projectiles, one of the main new mechanics is that you have a shield, which is like a bubble shield that forms around you. And you activate that, and that when you collect blue projectiles with that, it charges your power weapon, which is a new mechanic again. You can get different types of power weapons, but they're obviously very powerful. That's the only way to charge it is by activating the shield. You've got yellow projectiles, which you can dash through them and you can absorb them with your shield. But when you do, it's like a risk reward because you can absorb them, but then it takes a chunk of your health basically as shield. It kind of diminishes the maximum level of your health. So it's, you would only use that in a pinch. As you go into the game, there's red projectiles, and you can't dash through those and you can't block them, but you can parry them. So there's a parry mechanic, which will fire them back. So there's a couple of like Dark Ages things, but it is very much Eternal in terms of like you are grappling all over the place, you're dashing, you're going all over the place all the time, and you have to keep moving. So yeah, it's terrific, and it's still difficult. Like it's still a difficult game. The third biome, I think it's the third, might be the fourth that I'm in. I am dying a lot in that biome. Like it's really, really tough. So, and I've just got to the boss area on it, so I'm hoping I can get that down quickly. But it's still difficult. But there are new things to help you with it now, I think.
So you said last time I spoke to you that you were like God's gift to Returnal, and you blasted through it and killed every boss first time and all the rest of it. Does that carry over to Saros, or is it more difficult?
So I've faced 3 bosses now. The first and second bosses I died to once, and then I beat them the second time each, and then the third boss I beat one in one go. So I'm still God's gift. But I said this about Returnal, like the bosses weren't a struggle for me, but some of the biome stuff that you encounter later it gets very difficult to survive. It's exactly the same in Saros. Like the bosses, the first boss is actually, I could see more people struggling with the first boss of Saros than Frike in Returnal. In Returnal. But yeah, it's I'm still great at the game. But this biome is kicking my ass, and the Eclipse stuff makes it harder. Unless you avail yourself of one of the new mechanics. There's kind of 2 new mechanics to make it easier for players. So I can talk about them if you want.
Yeah, go for it. That's what we're here for.
So the main thing is that obviously the tagline is come back stronger, and the way that the game does that is you have a skill tree now. So you can collect currency on your runs, and you can use it to unlock this big skill tree that, you can put points into whatever you want. And there are, as an example, significant early upgrades is Second Chance. So just resurrection when you kill first time. That's quite a big, easy boon. The other thing, you only get, I think it's biome free after you've done biome 2, you get this, but it's called Carcosan modifiers. So like you have this like gauge of like there's a sweet spot of yellow in the middle and then red on either side, and you can basically pick and choose different modifiers and it will tip the scale one way or another. If you go into the red, you have to pick something that will balance it and put you back into the yellow. But you could, for example, you can say, okay, I want, it's in the middle. You can say, I want to do increased damage to all enemies. So it tips it this way. And you can leave it at that. So it can, it's basically an easy mode adjustment. You can make it easier. And then you might be able to say, I want enemies to shoot less projectiles. So it might tip it further. And then if you pick something else that's beneficial, it'll tip it into the red. And if you tip it into the red, you either have to take the thing off that you just put, or you can choose a negative thing. So you might say, well, I want to do more damage to enemies, but I want enemies to be more powerful. So it'll tip it back. So I haven't used any of it. I'm purist. I'm like that. I'm going to just go do the default. But I think it's really interesting how it works. And I think it's a cool way of being able to say, okay, what if you're a player that's struggling, what are you struggling with? Are you struggling with the fact that enemies are too spongy? Okay, well, you can change that. Or are you struggling with the fact that there's too many projectiles? We can change that as well. So it's cool.
Okay. So now that I'm getting into Returnal, now that I like it, there's a fair chance I should move on to Saros, basically. So it's a fairly simplistic, like, if you know you like it, then you know you like it? Or does this one, do you reckon this will appeal to people that didn't like Returnal because of these changes you just mentioned?
I think it will because of that reason. I think if you didn't like Returnal, this would be a much better point for you if your struggle with Returnal was difficulty, basically. But this game is still hard. Like, it is still a difficult game. Except that you have way more granularity of control over how difficult it is now. So,
okay. And does it have something in place? Like, what's your kind of motivation not to just make everything easier?
I don't know, really. I guess it's I just enjoy the default level. Like, it's easier than Returnal by default if you use the skill tree, right? Because you are getting stronger every time you come back. So, notwithstanding that, it's still hard even with that activated. But for me, I don't want to make it like the point I loved about Returnal was the struggle of it. Like, in the same way a Souls game is hard, like you know the elation you get when you power through these things is really cool, and I really like that about Returnal. So Saros is very much still like that. And I don't want to mess with the modifiers. Like, if I get to a point where I'm really, really, really struggling and I don't think I can do it, then maybe I'll touch it. But for now, I'm beating the bosses. I'm getting through this. Biome's kicking my ass, but I know I can get through it. I can get to the boss. So yeah, I don't want to nudge it too far.
Yeah,
but the game doesn't necessarily punish you for it.
I have a few questions regarding difficulty. Sorry, Luke.
Yeah,
so I did not play Returnal because I don't like how games reset your progress if you die. If I guess Returnal does that. And is it true that Saros you can Saros lets you select a level if that's okay. That's good. And does it punish you? Does it punish you if you select a later level?
No. So I think Returnal didn't allow that, right? Like, you start at biome 1, you go all the way through. If you die at biome 4, you go right back to biome 1, and you've got to go all the way through again. Saros is not like that. So if you beat a biome, the biome's unlocked, and then you use a teleportation device in your hub, and you can select every biome that you've beaten and the current biome you're in. So you go straight to it, or you can go back to another biome if you want to find some extra stuff. So it doesn't punish you for that at all, because there's plenty of upgrades within the biome on the run that you can get, right? ACID, it's still got the corrupted artifacts that you can pick up that have a positive and negative effects, like Returnal, and then there are just positive ones as well. So you can get that up. It's still got the proficiency levels if you from Returnal as well, that sort of stuff. So so it doesn't punish you for selecting biome 5. You don't have to go back to biome 1.
You know what? This is back to Returnal though. The thing with the proficiency, because the game doesn't tell you very much, I was under the impression going into it that you were kind of obligated to be really thorough going through biome 1 to make sure you get all of the proficiency and all of the health and all of these upgrades and so on before you move on. And what I found by ignoring that is it actually has quite generous catch up if you don't do that. If you skip and if you beeline to the next biomes, it catches up your proficiency and things like that. And this is what I mean when I was saying changing my approach to the game made it far more bearable and tolerable, because the chance encounters and the moment-to-moment stuff that you can get just by exploring a biome, like you just said, were often more difficult than the bosses and things. Do you, in Saros, are you encouraged to beeline, or are you exploring more? Is the side content worth pursuing?
I'm exploring quite a bit, but because I just love just playing the game, and I kind of don't want it to end abruptly. So I kind of like doing a lot of the extra stuff that happens on a run. And like one of the things I was struggling on this biome is I can't remember if Returnal had this because it's been so long if I played it. Sometimes in a biome you'll encounter like a gate, and in this one in Saros it's called the Nightmare Strand, and it's basically an offshoot different world that you can teleport to within a biome, and it's ultra difficult, but you get really high rewards for doing it. And it will even do things like if you've lost a second chance during that biome, you can replenish it by doing a Nightmare Strand. So real risk and reward, right? Because you've got one life left, but if you do the Nightmare Strand, you get your second one back. So, and you get a bunch of other rewards with it to take with you in the biome. So it's got a lot of stuff like that, a lot of like, you know, hidden away extra benefits in a biome that you can go for. So there's plenty of like similar side stuff to Returnal, maybe a bit more. But you can, you know, I don't feel like you have to go and explore and get everything. If you're beelining it, you're still going to you'll be powerful enough to beat the boss at the end of a biome, for example.
I mean, you had more questions.
Yeah, I had a question about like how difficulty, like how does difficulty scale up? Like, is it like more bullets, more enemies, or they do more damage, or does it? The thing I hate in FPS and that have like difficulty. Sometimes they make the map like has a lot of holes and you can fall. That's part I don't like. I'm not sure how they like make it more difficult in because I have no sense of where I am in the map when I'm playing something that has a lot of shooting, a lot of like bullets coming at you. Like, how do they make it more difficult?
So you can fall off the map at certain places during fights, but it respawns you immediately, and it just takes like a sliver of your health. So I don't feel like it's not too punishing. Like it doesn't end the run. It just punishes you slightly for not being aware of where you are. I've done that several times and like taken like that much health. So it's not the worst. I think the main way it scales is there's lots of enemy variety, and so when you get into further biomes, you get a lot of different enemies on screen at once that are doing different things, and so you're trying to balance like dodging everything, shooting everything, and then enemies doing different things at the same time. There's like an enemy later on, for example, that it will introduce amongst other enemies, which is quite tanky, and it will spring up and then it will spring down, and it shoots like yellow and blue projectiles, and then suddenly when it does it a couple of times, it puts a shield around itself. You can't, if your strategy is, well, I'm shooting, I'm going to just come away from you and shoot, it will put the shield up, so you have to engage to get close to get beyond the shield. And then it'll introduce enemies with a shield that you have to melee before you can kill them. So it kind of does that. It just shoves a lot of different things at you and says, well, go figure it out with the tools that you've got. So that's kind of how it's getting more difficult. And then the other thing, just to add, it's getting more difficult now because in the biome I'm in, you have environmental hazards as well. So there's it's basically like Blight Town, if anybody, from Souls, right? It's like that kind of thing that's going on at the same time. So it's hard, like fun, but you have to manage a lot. That's how it gets more difficult.
Yeah, okay. That's cool. Does it, last thing, Asa, does it do the thing that Doom Eternal does with different weapons or for different enemies? Or I think you have only 2 weapons, maybe. I'm not sure.
You've only got, you've basically got 2. You've got your primary and a power weapon. The primary, it has different types of primary weapons, and they all have RNG on a run, so you'll get them with different attributes every time. So trying to think of an example, you might get like a shotgun, and you have like in Returnal, you have a primary fire on your right trigger, and if you squeeze down the left trigger but don't hold it full down, it has an alt fire. So the alt fire for like one of the shotguns is, for example, that I've encountered, it shoots a wall of projectiles that are static, alt fire, and then when you primary fire again, it fires those projectiles in the same direction. So you can kind of like stasis them in one area, you move over here, and then shoot, and then it will like go like that. So it's got a lot of cool little variations on the primary weapons. I don't know how many primary weapons it has. I think I've encountered 4 or 5 so far, and then I've encountered 2 power weapons as well.
Does it make you start with a shit one every time?
No, in fact, if you when you die, you start the next run with the same weapon that you died with. It won't be as fully powered or geared up as it might have been when you died, but it's the same fundamental, like a shotgun. It's the same weapon.
That's like a massive change over Returnal. That's one of the things that makes it feel so harsh. He's always going back to that damn pistol.
Pistol's good in this, though. The hand cannon, very good.
If you can aim, I can't aim, so it'll be shit for me.
We've established though. You know this. It's pretty like it's not really an aiming game.
No, that's fair. Yeah. Returnal was quite generous with how loose you could be with its aiming. And we've established that Luke is brilliant at Returnal. Craig is like world champion rank on Dead or Alive. I'm pretty amazing at Hades. Amine, are you good at anything?
Yeah. I'm good at FPS games. You've seen me. I was surprisingly good at Call of Duty, even though I never played the multiplayer. And I used to be really good at Counter-Strike and also Half-Life Deathmatch. But yeah, the FPS games, I think they are my thing. They are my bread and butter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. To be fair, I will back you up on that. You are good at those games. So there we go. I'm in a nice mood today. I could have said horrible things, but no, generous guy.
I suck at racing games, so you can say that about me. You can
doing all right on the Sonic Crossroads when we were playing yesterday. You got some bold victories in there. Craig, I don't think you got through Returnal or Saros and that, but generally, when a game presents itself as being difficult, does that appeal to you or does that put you off?
Oh, I can't hear you.
No, you're very much not making any noise.
I'm not making any noise.
Oh, no, you are.
Now we can hear you.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. Let me move. No, difficulty. Give it a swerve. For me, it's I've even taken now to just, if I've got the option, just playing things on easy mode straight out the gate rather than even trying it and then reducing the difficulty.
Fair, okay. And look, this one, besides the mechanics that you said, it doesn't have an outright. You can't go into the settings menu and be like easy, medium, hard, can you? Play it as it is.
No, not that I've seen it. You have to play it as it is. Yeah.
Okay, fair. I'm a default kind of person. I if I can avoid a settings menu, then I'm happy. I just play it as it comes. If it's supposed to be hard, then I'll play it hard. It took me about 6 hours to get through the last boss of the Elden Ring DLC. It's the only boss of the entirety of all of my Souls playthroughs that has survived an entire stream. I did a whole stream of fighting this one boss, and it didn't die. What a waste of time that was. But yeah, love that game. So let's move on then to some more topical stuff, eh? Let's talk about some of the noise around Xbox. That's probably is it big news? Is it fluff? I don't know. We'll get into some of the details. So last time we did this show was a couple of months ago. Asha Sharma had just come in charge of Xbox, and we had a little discussion about it, about what she could do short term, how long it's going to take to kind of feel the impact of her actions. And funnily enough, we said that if there was anything short term, it would be some kind of tweak or change to Game Pass, because that's the kind of only thing that you can impact that directly that quickly. But that has happened. Call of Duty has been taken out of Game Pass Ultimate and the price has come down a bit. Let's start with that as a talking point. Amine, good move or bad move? Game Pass Ultimate has gone down $7. I don't know what it is in other currencies, something like that. Gone down a little bit, but you're not going to get, from some people's perspective, the biggest game. Not from my perspective, but from some people's perspective, the biggest game has been pulled out of it. What do you reckon to that little move?
I think it's good. At least for me, I don't care a lot about Call of Duty. I would love for it to remove also like Fortnite and Riot games, and Ubisoft, and I don't know what else they have, but yeah, the I think it's good for me. I did enjoy playing some Call of Duty. It was the only time I played Call of Duty. Like, get it on Game Pass. I don't usually buy them. I don't think Call of Duty on Game Pass makes sense a lot. Like, people that will play Call of Duty will just buy it, and they spend so much money on it. They will lose a lot if they put it on Game Pass, which they did last year. I think it was like $300 million. So they probably have some analytics that says like we're not gaining anything like this. Like, people that will play it will come, maybe try it, play the campaign if they play it on Game Pass, and like not buy any skin and never come back. And that's how they lose a lot of sales. And people that used to maybe buy it, maybe since they have Game Pass, they play it on Game Pass. But yeah, I think it's a good move that they removed Call of Duty, because it's just better to sell it, and people that play it will just buy it. I think Dave, even though we have Dave on the chat, he has like Game Pass and he still buys it. So.
Oh, okay. Fair. If he wants to, it's his money, I suppose. Craig, you played Call of Duty with us. I can't remember if you're typically a Call of Duty person, if you would have bought previous entries. Does this impact you at all? Do you care? Are you glad the price has come down? Would you rather have Call of Duty? Are you going to buy it anyway? All of these kind of things.
I was a Call of Duty man. That was my FPS, my go-to, because my friends would be playing it. But I think after Modern Warfare, so Modern Warfare 2019, when it got rebooted, was great. Modern Warfare 2 was great. 3, nobody liked the campaign, but the multiplayer was solid. But then the 2 Black Ops games that have come out weren't great. All my friends that did like Call of Duty dropped off it. So yeah, it was handy it being in Game Pass, because I got to play them games and realise that I didn't like them, rather than spending £70 on them to realise I didn't like them. But yeah, I mean, I suppose you look at it, the money that you're now saving on Game Pass, if you're that bothered, just buy it now, because you've saved that much anyway. What you're saving, £7 a month for a year, that'll buy you the game if you're bothered. So look at it that way, I guess.
There, Luke. Just specifically on this Game Pass move, obviously there's more around to talk about as well, but is this a good move? Is it indicative of other games dropping out in future? Is it just Call of Duty as just a massive entity that needed to come out to protect the service for the rest of us? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, generally, I think it's good. I am probably like most people. Like, I don't care about Call of Duty, and if I did, I'd just buy it separately. So it's a pretty significant reduction for one game, right? Like, 7-8 quid a month, which is great. I think, yeah, my only concern is it does set somewhat of a precedent regarding, well, they can take stuff out. They can drop the price, but they can take stuff out as well. And, nothing is as big as Call of Duty in terms of seller, but there are some things that are close in the future that they might look at. So like a Fallout or an Elder Scrolls or something like that would be relatively close to something like a yearly COD in terms of like impact and stuff. So I don't think they're going to do that anytime soon, but it just makes me slightly wary about what they would do. I think it would be better if, I think this is just a short-term fix for a longer-term fix that they will probably put in, where there'll be more granularity about what you want and can include in your Game Pass as compared to someone else's, and what the price will be. So I think for now, the headline for them was just, clearly their churn of customers is not great in Game Pass, because they acknowledged it's too expensive. and we have to drop the price by removing Call of Duty. So hopefully that works and people come back to the service. Yeah, I think overall it's a good move for now.
Okay. So we've had that. The other thing that's less substantial, less tangible, but is making a lot of noise is this "We Are Xbox" line. This galvanizing phrase that's got people scurrying around their AI image generators to put Asha Sharma in a Pope outfit or some bollocks like that, or like make her some kind of messiah. This stuff to me is cringy as fuck, and I don't know why people do it. But the messaging is strong. The fan base is galvanized. It is having a positive impact on people, despite there being like not necessarily the material changes yet. But the promise from the internal memos, conversations, whatever they call it, their big meeting where everyone was standing on the staircase or whatever, is that they are rethinking things. They're putting a big focus on games, on consumers. They're potentially rethinking exclusivity, which is somewhat vague when they hadn't really had a solid stance on it in the first place, but they're rethinking it. Amine, do you think things are changing for the better at Xbox? Are we going to see any difference here? Is it just noise? What's happening?
It's definitely not just noise, because they are making changes, even in software wise. Like, they are making fast, rapid changes to the console experience and the PC experience. Like, something changed, and they did like change the price of Game Pass. Like, they did, like they are doing something, but I'm still like not overly optimistic about, like, for example, the exclusivity bit. I don't think they can come back from not from exclusivity. Like, they cannot. They need to publish these games on other places. Maybe it would be a case by case situation, because it's a lot of studios, it's a lot of money, it's big games, and they need to sell them. And if you are on Xbox, you're not gonna buy them. You're just gonna do Xbox Game Pass. Maybe you'll buy some games. I don't know who buys games that are on Xbox Game Pass when you have Xbox Game Pass. But that's what I think. I think they are not going to do exclusivity. Maybe just in some cases. Maybe.
Do you know, maybe. That's fine. I mean, maybe. As in terms of a shift in stance, though, like Case by Case was the official company line before she came in, and Case by Case is pretty much as good as we've got at the moment as an official line on what they're going to be doing. Like, we'll think about it. But Luke, you've presumably followed this reasonably closely. They're presumably still under the same kind of pressures and constraints as they were when Phil was there and Sarah was there and all the rest of it. I'm using first names because we're best friends. Asha Sharma is also my best friend. Over the last couple of months, we've grown very close. Me and all the other people on Twitter, we're very close. What's going on, though? Is this moving the needle for you? Do you think we're going to see changes with Xbox? Is there some positivity going on? Is it business as usual? What's happening?
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. Like, it's just like I agree with. I mean, like they've done some stuff, right? Like, it's all kind of easy win stuff to try and get people back on side in terms of. Look, I'll say this. I think a lot of this is trying to basically galvanize like the hardcore Xbox audience to come back around to the idea of like really platforming the platform, right? And being kind of locked in. And I think that's probably the right move, because if you lose those people, like, you're fucked. Like, their substantive Game Pass audience is still, for example, basically the majority of people who play on Xbox. Obviously, they've got a lot of PC gamers now as well, but it's not grown like they'd have liked it to there yet. So I think it's the right stuff, and like, I think they realize that they kind of gone too far away from that in recent years, of like just deprioritizing the console and just it it's there, but we're not really going to kind of give it a full platform to succeed on. So I think what they're doing is, on paper it's somewhat performative, but they are actually trying some things. So having said that, they are, as you said, they're still like subject to the issues that they had before, really, which is that they've got this big, massive Game Pass service, which is, seemingly successful for them, but probably not successful enough yet. They need to grow that. Because it's not growing at the minute, because it was too expensive, and because their console business is not like super performative or anything like that in terms of financials, they've had to branch out and then put games in other places on other console platforms. That really hasn't worked that well for them either, apart from a couple of games, I suppose. But a lot of those games that they've put elsewhere, they didn't sell well on Xbox either, because people played them in Game Pass, so people weren't buying them. So they're in a bit of a catch-22, because the exclusivity thing's interesting. I think they will change some elements of this, but they can't push it too far the other direction, because then, if you've got, I don't know, Double Fine's next game that's not selling, it's just, maybe it costs more money to make than say it's Psychonauts 3. It's not, but say it is. Is that going to sell that well on Xbox alone? Probably not, because people will play it on Game Pass. Is it going to sell that well on PC? Maybe not. And then if you bring it to other platforms, you at least give them a fighting chance of making decent money on it. But I feel like if you hive that off as an example, you're just setting Double Fine up for failure, because their games aren't big sellers or anything like that. So I just think it's a really difficult equation that they've got to try and figure out, of like, maybe they do need to try and incentivize people to go back to the console, but they can't push that too far, because it will upset the equilibrium in terms of what they're earning elsewhere. So I don't know. It's interesting, but the more interesting stuff is when they come out and they say like, Gears E-Day, they just announce it, release date, and it's Xbox and PC. Then it's more interesting, because then they're actually saying, well, no, we're not talking about a PlayStation version at the minute, or whatever it may be. So they're just in it's a tough spot for them to be in, but I think a change of approach was needed, and that seems to be what's happening.
It's funny, because of the games that they've put on PlayStation in particular, by far and away the runaway success story is Forza Horizon 5, which is the only one that's moved like big numbers. It's done really well over there, but that was obviously not a day one release over there. That was a game that had been performing on Xbox and PC for a long time, then went over, then did really well. And you could say that you can follow the data and say, well, that's a good idea then, but they were already doing that with Forza Horizon 6. That data was already there. That decision had already been made. And this talk about exclusivity and all the rest of it, there seems to be this this idea that when Phil and Sarah were there, everything was day one on every platform, and that wasn't actually the case. So materially, there's not very much changing, but there is always more data coming in, more data to build on. Craig, if you were running Xbox and you had to plan their exclusivity strategy, what do you reckon you would lean towards? Do you reckon they're like, they should go full console exclusive and stop supporting Steam and PC altogether? They should keep things as they are, Xbox and PC. They should go day one everywhere, sell as many copies as they can. They should do the timed release. They should go aggressively full exclusive. They should do different things for Elder Scrolls 6 or Kiln. What do you reckon is the correct play for a massive corporation to make the most money?
If you've got a crystal ball, you're all right, aren't you? Because it's a lot. It's a big decision to make. I mean, with them having a PC store, you could make an argument for them not releasing it on Steam. But I think a majority of PC owners that just want to play things on Steam anyway and think that the Xbox store is shite would just retaliate anyway. They'd be like, oh yeah, I've got the Xbox store might well be there on my PC, but I just point blank refuse to use it. If you're not going to release my games on Steam, then so be it. But yeah, I really don't know. I mean, me personally, I think I'd I would back away from PlayStation and Nintendo, but yes, keep Steam. But then how are they going to grow their Xbox store on PC when everyone would rather play it on Steam? I mean, Game Pass, yeah. Game Pass is their selling point. That's their unique. That's their USP, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is. They've always got that situation where so many people, everyone is like EA have had a PC store. Epic have been giving free games away for years to try and get a PC store. It's a difficult thing to do because Steam is kind of the be all end all on PC, and nobody seems to be able to challenge it. But like hypothetically, if they wanted to challenge it, they're not going to challenge it by putting Forza Horizon 6 on Steam, are they? So there is a decision to make there. I think that decision has already been made, and I don't think we're going to see any big changes. Steam in particular, but I don't know. Luke. No, Amine's got his hand. He's doing a little wave. I just saw it.
Amine, so.
Yeah. So, yeah, I wanted to say something. Let's say, so for them to grow like the console base and to have a big console audience, they have to have exclusives. In theory, they will grow like more users, like user numbers, but that's just in theory, and also it will take them a really, really long time, and they have to lose a lot of money for the amount of money they are spending on these games to make them. I just don't see them going full on exclusives, although that's the only solution. Maybe even kill Game Pass. Maybe that's one solution. Kill Game Pass, make stuff exclusive, and that in the really, really long run will get you, in theory, more users. But I cannot see that with the amount of money they are spending on making the games.
Mm-hmm. It's also really
where the bottom line's concerned. Sorry, go on.
No, go on, Craig.
No, I was going to say where the bottom line's concerned, and the only thing that the pen pushers at the top really care about is making the money. Though the console, how much money does the console make? If they make everything exclusive and they try to get people back on the console, initially they sell them at a loss initially, don't they? And then as components come down, well, no, but not this generation, but historically it was the case that then as the components came down, they'd hopefully make money on the sale of the consoles. But it's the console users that they want to turn into. They want to get them spending money in the ecosystem. But is that going to happen? How many people can they buy a console that aren't just going to have it as a second console? You know, they might say they buy a console for a couple of exclusives, and they buy those, or maybe just subscribe to Game Pass for a couple of months to play the exclusives. But their PlayStation's still their primary console. They haven't really achieved an awful lot, have they?
No, and it's go on, Luke.
Well, no, I completely agree with that. But I was going to say there's two issues with them making it exclusive, which is that one, which is Craig said, okay, they might tempt more people to buy the console, but then they'll subscribe to Game Pass if they know about it, and so they won't get full price on these game sales anyway, and they probably already have some other platform as their primary platform where they will buy all the third parties and spend all the microtransaction money and do all that stuff. So are they making a lot of money from that? The second one is it's really, really risky to do exclusive stuff right now before next gen when we know that their console is going to be really expensive, because they've already said that it's going to be very expensive and it's going to be a very premium product. So, you know, conceivably, they're not going to sell as many consoles this generation, next generation, as they have this generation. And they haven't sold a lot of consoles this generation. So unless they're heavily subsidizing the next gen, which I very much doubt, like, why would you try? Like, it's too risky to start making stuff like full bore exclusive all the time, except for PC, obviously, because you're not going to have the same audience, or at least, you know, initially, as you even do now on their console. So it's like a really difficult thing to know. Like, what I think it is just going to be case by case, and they'll just see how they go.
And there is a real problem with Xbox. I'm just going to say this. people will hate me, but I don't think the games that they make are amazing. I want to buy a console for them.
I'm going to disagree with you.
There is one. There is one. There is
studios, but
yeah, they have one which is Forza. That one is like maybe console seller if you are into cars. They have Gears has fallen off. Halo has fallen off way deeper.
It's gone.
It's coming back, damn it.
Like,
it's coming back.
When I have friends that are casual, and they tell me I want to play Spider-Man, I want to play Uncharted because they are cinematic. I want to play Wolverine. I want to play what else? The God of War, because God of War is known to the mainstream people that don't play games, but Xbox just doesn't have that
they've got
anymore.
Diablo, they've got Gears, they've got Halo, they've got Elder Scrolls, they've got plenty of big shit.
What I will say is that I do like. I know I get what I mean saying. In particular, I think people these days massively overstate how strong Halo and Gears are as general IPs, because back in the day, Halo was the big IP, right? Like it was pretty much the biggest thing that was coming out alongside your GTAs. And Gears was also massive. They aren't anymore in the same way that some of the other franchises that Amine said are. So, you know, the only ones that really are for Xbox now are like Forza's a much bigger IP now than Halo and Gears, I think. It sells way more, it has way more engagement. So that's like a genuine system seller.
Okay.
But I don't think these are.
Call of Duty, Minecraft.
Yeah.
So
But they're not
like, in terms
exclusive,
of
are they?
no, they're not. But in terms of what Microsoft Studios have got and what they own in terms of value, right? You don't,
I think
get bigger.
No, I know, but I think it means talking about like those tentpole, like hardcore, like gamer franchises that are like they're kind of like not even just the hardcore, but they're just well known, like.
I do understand. I understand the point that he's making, but I think they're
GTA, Minecraft stuff. Yeah,
I think they have a very stacked deck if they wanted to play cards in that way.
You think?
Yeah,
do you think they can
moving the needle? If you want to talk about moving the needle, though, yes, make those exclusive. Make Call of Duty exclusive.
do.
Make Minecraft exclusive.
Proper scorched earth, like
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nuke it. There you go. That'll do it.
I mean, you would.
That'll get people
sell
back.
consoles for sure.
You will sell a lot of consoles like that. Yeah, but
the financials don't make sense. Yeah, for like Call of Duty, like it would probably tank the studio, wouldn't it? Because it wouldn't make enough money for how much they spend on it.
Yeah. Aside from that, though, like exclusives obviously do drive console sales. I mean, most of the consoles I own because of the exclusives. Otherwise, I'm just playing on my PC. They're not the be all end all. Most people are playing Fortnite and FIFA and all that kind of bollocks. But they are what drive people to a particular platform. So Microsoft, I mean, I've always said that they would need to maintain value in their platform, be it console or otherwise, right? Because you're still playing on their ecosystem if you're playing elsewhere, but they need to maintain some value to keep people over there. Because the end goal eventually has to be like the traditional kind of platform ecosystem is that you make money off of third parties as well. So they've got to put themselves in a position where not only are their exclusive games really good, but their platform is so good that people want to be playing and spending there. All right. Yeah, FIFA is bollocks. I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole, Patrick, but it makes a lot of money. It's not called FIFA anymore, right? But it makes a lot of money. Fortnite makes a lot of money. I'm not interested in it, but this is the kind of strategy they need to play to, and they need to look at what's coming in future, what's going to be the next Roblox, what's going to be the next meta platform, all of this kind of things, and how do they make sure that they're in control of that and they're getting their chunk of revenue. But I mean, you're right. Like, there's no world where they take Call of Duty and Minecraft and Elder Scrolls off of the other platforms. So, what materially then can change? What is changing? There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of positivity. And one of the things that I think has really hurt them over the last year or so with the This Is an Xbox campaign that they ran before is whether things are exclusive or not, whether things are changing or not. There was a perception that nothing was exclusive. There was a belief that everything was multi-platform now. There's not. Materially, it wasn't true. Like, everything isn't multi-platform, at least not day one. But there was a perception, right, that spread across socials and all the rest of it, and word of mouth, where people thought that everything Microsoft is doing, you can get elsewhere. You can get on PlayStation. You don't need an Xbox for anything. That the reframing, even though they've not committed to anything in particular, with what they've said so far, like we're going to reconsider exclusivity, they've changed absolutely nothing. But the reframing has made people look at Xbox and think of, like, maybe this platform is still going to have something for me. Maybe I do still need to be involved in this. And that's kind of an important step, right? That's all I can really take from the messaging so far. Is there anything else worth mentioning on what's going on with the We Are an Xbox? Are you an Xbox? Luke, are you an Xbox?
No.
Oh. I mean, are you in favour? Are they saying the right things for you? Do you think things are going to be better for Xbox in a year's time?
It's complicated because I love Xbox how they are right now. Maybe because I can play my games on PC. I can run them best graphics. I don't want them to remove exclusives. Do they really want to remove exclusives? They are making a lot of money, I think. Like this, they might make less money if they go exclusive. And I don't know, but yeah, that's my answer. I like them as they are right now. It's but on the other side, it's good to have competition, so PlayStation can stay competitive. They make good moves, not bad moves. They try to work for your money. So it's hard.
Do you know, now that you mentioned PlayStation, actually, so one of the massive differences between something that sets Xbox apart from PlayStation and Nintendo in a very superficial way is the parasocial stuff that they do. So there was a massive conversation over the course of the last week around potentially some changes that Sony had made around DRM and all the rest of it. And you couldn't get blood from a stone from Sony. They're not on social media talking about anything. And Nintendo very rarely go on social media and talk about anything. Whereas Xbox, their executives are your best friend. Your very best friend. Best friends. Sod everybody else. They're great. We love them. Right? That's the impression that you get anyway from social media buzz, is that people seem to genuinely think these people are their buddies. Craig, which approach do you prefer? What do you make of all of that? I know you're not a social media guy.
Put on your Project Helix t-shirt, Craig. Put it on.
Yeah. What do you mean he's not my friend? Is that what you're saying? No, I mean, like you said, that's one of the reasons. Like, I was only on Twitter anyway, purely for keeping up with gaming news, like as it happened. But that's when I was listening to all the podcasts, and I had a little rotation of the podcasts that I'm listening to as well, and everything. And it got so tiresome and so I'm just like, it's all there's this small minority that shout the loudest, and they're arguing, and it's back and forth, and yeah, but Phil said this, and yeah, it's. What more can you say about, like you say, about the parasocial relationship?
There's a loud group of people that don't know whether they like exclusives or not because they're not sure what the message is right now. So they're like, "Oh, do not tell me Xbox, are they good or bad? I don't know what to say anymore." It's weird. It's weird to witness. Luke, you are on the socials. You see all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Do you love it? Are you your best friends?
Yeah, it's great. I don't know. It's just strange to me. All I want from a gaming company is to make good games and not do bad things that affect me.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they communicate with me or not, I could not give a shit about, because it's not it's a corporation. It's a concept. It's not a thing. And so, I get fandom around things, but I don't get hardcore fandom where people are very actively involved with people from a company on social media, and obviously this is I think works in Xbox's favor. It is one way they differentiate themselves, I think, at least online, from Nintendo and Sony, but I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. I just
It's like a strategic play to make brand evangelists, they call them, isn't it? And internally, that's when they're sitting in their boardrooms talking about it. They're brand evangelists that will go out and spread the good word of Xbox. So there's some value to it.
But it hasn't fucking worked, has it? So like, I don't, it's not none of this has worked. So I don't really know why they keep doing it as such, because clearly they're not spreading the gospel enough. They're not traveling across the world to do this stuff. So I just find it odd. I mean, I think there's like I feel like Nintendo probably get it right more than anything, where they've got like this happy medium of they're not online, as in like their executives aren't online communicating with you, but they have stuff like Nintendo Today and their socials and stuff, which they'll always drop updates and tell you about stuff, and there's like happy surprises, like the other day when the Nintendo Today app was just like, oh look, Splatoon Raiders, here's a big trailer and like it's coming this day and stuff like that's cool stuff. That's like way more connected. So it's kind of the opposite end, where sometimes they don't communicate enough, like the DRM example, right, where it took them ages to actually come out and say anything. But I don't know. If you want to be a brand evangelist, go for it. But you're just working for free at that point. It just seems a bit redundant to me. Or well, maybe get a Helix T-shirt. But
yeah, indeed. I mean, how many Asha, Sharma, Matt Booty, Jason Ronald AI images have you generated this week?
I have not seen any image like that. But no, I have not generated it.
I've seen several like they are interesting.
I only, so whenever I go on Twitter, I have only my following tab. Like I only see like the people I follow. I don't see the weirdos. So I'm secured from all the weird stuff. And yeah, so the parasocial thing, like it worked for a bit, like at the start, but it's like kind of fired, like it's a problem later, because everything you say will be used against you. Like that's how it's like Phil Spencer words were always used against him after like a few years, like last year and the year before, like when he gets back on like on exclusives, and like he said, if we lose Halo, we lose Xbox and stuff like that, and then he puts like Halo on PlayStation. It's worked for a while, but it's always like it has more negatives over time. And I guess like Asha Sharma will regret some of the stuff that she's saying right now, like exclusives and all of that, because she opened that can of worms, and then she will tell them, no, we will not do exclusives. And maybe even like so in that statement where they said the exclusives, they also said that they are looking into acquisitions, and that exclusive word and acquisitions may not work together, like when they are in court again. So yeah, I think they should just shut up and just work hard, make good products. Just like Valve. Valve also doesn't say anything until they do it. Yeah,
that's fair. I think so. Most of us are on the same page there, in that we really far more interested in what they actually deliver at the end of it, rather than what they say in the run up. Which is we're right. Be like us. I don't know what else is going on. Let's have a little quick run through any other topics that you want to bring up. So Craig, before we get to our questions at the end, I don't know, you got anything else going on at the moment in the world of games that you want to talk about?
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything to add. The Xbox news is the big news. May's stacked, isn't it? There's a lot coming out this month, so there'll be a lot to talk about as we go on. Yeah.
May is definitely stacked. There's an awful lot of games coming out. We are going to be running this podcast week by week, though, so I guess we'll get to those as and when they come. Makes the most sense, I suppose, but it's stuff to look forward to for everyone. Luke, are there any other topics that you want to hit before we go on to our questions?
I'm very interested to see what people think of the Resident Evil trailer.
The movie.
Oh
Very
yeah,
interested. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched the trailer, so I can't say anything myself on that. But I mean, you were about to.
I have. Yeah, I have it in the docs if you wanna look at it and put it
I
for
do
people.
not.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure who's making it. Oh, it's Sony. I don't know if they are like very copyright strike heavy. But yeah, it's I like the trailer. They are doing a movie in the Resident Evil universe. But it's not related to any game. There is no game character appearing, at least from what I know. I watched an interview. Some people might hate that, but I like it because last time they tried to include those characters, they just like massacred their backstory. They cannot give them enough time. Like 2 hours in a movie is not enough time to like flesh out all the characters, even if you have one character from the games. Like you cannot like have all of that in 2 hours, or like recreate the story of the movie in 2 hours. You cannot do that. So I do like that they are making their own like story inside the universe. I just want them to maybe respect like the how zombies behave in Resident Evil, and like some creatures maybe they show, even if they create their own creatures. I just want a good movie. I want a good movie. That's what I want from it. But yeah, so I want to hit Luke. Luke has...
Yeah, so do I. For me, the Resident Evil characters, though, like Leon in particular, is quite well beloved, despite not having much to say across the games that I've played, like not actually having that much depth as a character. So it would be quite difficult to get it right in a movie using the established characters in a way that the people that like those characters would be pleased with. But I've also seen some people quite critical that this new take seems quite distant from the games in some sense or another. I've not watched the trailer at all, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Luke, what do you think of it?
Well, it's annoying because I thought people would be on the other side of me, but Amine's actually said what I was going to say, basically. So I wanted there to be arguments, but no, so I find the discourse around this like so interesting because, and there's a couple of elements to it, but the people, like there's certain people online that act like Resident Evil is like a paragon of like storytelling, and that you've got to be very faithful to what these games do. Like Resident Evil storytelling is not very good. Like it's fine. Like, and some of the games are good-ish. Like Requiem was pretty decent story, for example, but it's not like this sacred thing which you can't like mess with. I think there's like motifs and like recurring themes or recurring elements to Resident Evils that I think are somewhat sacred, but I don't know why some people are all up in arms because they're like, well, you know, Leon's not in it, as if Leon's like, and I love Leon, but as if he's like this super interesting character that's got a very complicated history that you want to see played out on screen. And the second element is that like people forget who is making this. It's Zach Kreger, who, you know, has made 2 unbelievably good horror films in Barbarian and Weapons, and is a massive fan of the games, right? And so like his favorite is RE4, and he is like, he's been very specific about saying, what's the point in me trying to adapt like Leon's story or Chris or like any of these characters? Like it would be a disservice to how they get, get the boulder punching in there. Like it would be a disservice to the games for me to do that. Like it would be silly for me to do that. And as Amine said, they already tried it. They did it in Welcome to Raccoon City. It was crap.
That was horrible.
They tried to be really, really faithful. Like a bit of a spin on it, but they tried to be faithful. But it was not good. They tried introducing him in the Paul W.S. Anderson films alongside, you know, Alice as an original character. Didn't do it well. in the Netflix series, they tried doing a different spin on them. Actually, it's a bit of a guilty pleasure, the Netflix series for me, but it's weird.
No.
Like, it's just weird. But it wasn't that good. So what's the point in trying to do it again, as if like it's going to produce a different result? Like what Craig has said is that like this will, like, his film replicates the experience of a Resident Evil game. Like, you know, it's about an everyman, you know, medical courier trying to deliver something to Raccoon City when shit hits the fan. And in the trailer you can see, like, you know, he's searching for ammunition. It's a Resident Evil hallmark. He gets weapon upgrades. Resident Evil hallmark. He's like fish out of water. Same thing. And I just find it interesting. People are like, it looks nothing like the games, but did Resident Evil 7 look anything like a Resident Evil as we've seen it before? No. It didn't even have like Resident Evil characters in it, anybody from the main series, until, spoiler, right at the very end. So I just think, like, you've got like this acclaimed horror director making a Resident Evil film who loves the games. Like, it might not be good, I don't know, but I'd be willing to bet that it's going to be a really fun film. It's going to be like a good take on it. It will have the spirit of Resident Evil with a lot of the things from Resident Evil. You know, it will have zombies and lickers and like all that sort of stuff. But he said like he wants to do some really interesting stuff with the T-virus, like these weird, you know, mutations that you get in the games, and you get these weird abominations out of it. So you can see some of that in the trailer as well. So, you know, I think people have to give it a chance. And it's such backseat filmmaking to be like, yeah, but, you know, Chris and Wesker's stories, just, you know, you've got to, like, why can't we do that? Because it's not that interesting in a film. Like, it's not interesting to do that stuff. So
yeah, and
that's my view on it.
And the dialogue that Chris and Leon has in the games are not like,
it's like
rich or
B-movie stuff. Like, it's great for games, but it's not like Leon. Every second sentence from Leon is like a one-liner, right? So,
Can you imagine?
like, yeah, like I really liked the first movie with that's the old one, the first movie, like that woman. Yeah, like that did not have any character from the games. I think.
Yeah, and that felt like Resident
that was good.
Evil. Yeah, like
that's
you know, they had the hive and that sort of stuff, and it was like like it wasn't a great film, but I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was enjoyable, even though it had none of the characters from Resident Evil.
I remember people being really upset that it had the Red Queen AI thing in it. Like, that's not from the games. Don't make stuff up that's not from my game. So I guess some things don't change in 20 odd years today.
When they tried to make things from the game, that Welcome to Raccoon City was just horrible. Like, Leon is like a spoiled kid, and Wesker is just a jokey
like a
guy.
Like a joke, and then like it's as if people want, like, the first new film of a series of Resident Evil, they want it to be a literal adaptation of like RE1, like, you know, Spencer Mansion, all of it, and you know, the same characters, you know, Barry with the Jill sandwich, like all of this sort of stuff. They want all of that stuff in it.
Yeah.
Not realizing that stuff in a film would be shite because it's shit in the game. Like, it's very like nostalgic and humorous, and everybody loves it, but it's not good. It's not like good narrative, good characters, or anything like that. It's not interesting. So I even saw some people saying, like, you know, in the trailer when there's a shot where the character looks towards like a darkened door, and out of the door comes like different limbs. It's like legs up at the top of the door, and then there's like arms to the side. Yeah. Someone saying like, "Oh, the T-virus doesn't do that though," and it's like, yeah, but you fight a literal giant plant in Resident Evil. What do you mean? Like,
I know exactly what they're saying though.
Like,
what they want to see is that same door with a little like mosaic 3 pieces of medallion are missing puzzle on there.
Yeah. But the irony is, one of those things will probably be in the film. There will probably be some random door that's got like a crest that he has to find. Like, it's so, you know, and like people forget, like Ari said, like Marguerite. What the fuck is Marguerite in that game? She's like this weird, like giant spider lady thing. It's just like, there's no real rules for Resident Evil. That's what makes it so fun, because you get all these random things that they just think of. They're like, yeah, it probably works in the world. So yeah, I just it frustrates me.
So Amine and Luke are both in firm agreement that the key is to follow Resident Evil 6 as closely as possible in this plotline. Craig, you don't even like Resident Evil. Are you interested in the film?
No, I couldn't care less.
Oh,
Boo!
boo. Okay,
No, but I like. All I would say is, objectively, as somebody that doesn't care, is I like what Luke was saying, that somebody that played the games, that cares about the IP, but has got an original idea. Like, how can that not be a good thing?
Do you know, it stands like in contrast to what we've heard from the Far Cry movie or TV series or whatever it is. I don't even know what is being made, but the director of whatever Far Cry media is coming has said that it's not based on the games at all. They've never played the games, and as far as they know, everybody that plays the game skips the cutscenes, so they're not going to copy the story from those. Because and it's like, who are you and why are you hurting your fan base so much? What's going on? So at least they're not doing that with Resident Evil.
Yeah. At least like pay some respect to the games. Don't like recreate the story 1-to-1 or force like scenes or elements of the game like they did with Welcome to Raccoon City. Like they were going from one place to the other from the game, from 1 and 2 and 3. Like they were including parts of the game, and that did not work. Like just include some notes, like some touches. Like for example, this director of this new movie, what he's doing is he said that like when the character is looking right, they are like pointing the camera to the right, like you're in third person, like you're looking where the character is looking, like the camera is always behind them. Not always, but most of the time it's behind them and stuff like that. They are progressively including more powerful weapons and all of that. That's good.
On that,
Yeah, you want it to be the spirit of the game with references to things from it. Like it can't be in like, I don't know.
Don't
California,
disrespect.
But like it just don't like. Just it doesn't have to be a 1-to-1.
So on the thing that the Far Cry guy said though about people skipping cutscenes and all the rest of it, I reckon I could be wrong here, but I think Luke watches cutscenes and would read like quest text and things to get properly into a game. Amine, I think, is a cutscene skipper, and Craig, I don't know.
No, I don't skip cutscenes.
Do you know?
I did like have to skip in not skip, but I had to fast forward in Crimson Desert because that was dog shit.
But at least you watched it enough to know that it's dog shit. Which I don't know. Yeah. I guess it means you are taking it in. Luke, am I right about you? Do you get quite into the lore and things?
Yeah. If it's good, yeah.
And Craig, you only play racing games and platforming games and Dead or Alive, so cutscenes aren't really applicable. I don't know. Do you play games with more story? Do you get into it like that?
Yeah. I mean, I love Cyberpunk. I think it's incredible, and the world building and the lore. I wouldn't say I read every single piece of text that I picked up, but certainly never skipped a cutscene and read some of the stuff. The only game I ever read every small item that I picked up was Control, because I think that really built on the lore.
No, is it Quantum Break or Control that's got the time knife? I think it's Quantum Break, actually.
It's Quantum Break.
Yeah,
don't mind me. Some people might know what I'm talking about, but probably not.
I like Remedy's weirdness. I think it's not quite self-indulgent as a Kojima weirdness. But yeah, the lore building. The lore building in Control. Yes, I read every single mortal thing that I could find in there when I picked it up, and yeah.
Okay, well now I know a little bit more about
the new one though.
I even watch and listen to lore videos about video games. I do that all the time.
Wow, I misjudged
I find them interesting. Yeah, but I don't read the papers that you find and all of that. I'm like, no. I was actually
so a better way to do it. Well, your
I was
way
so
of
lazy. Yeah. I was actually so lazy. I was thinking about making a program that read those notes to me whenever they are on screen. Maybe I can just activate text to speech, but maybe that can be like annoying in games because it will read everything.
It can quickly kill immersion though, reading every small thing that you pick up. That's why I didn't do it in Cyberpunk. I didn't do it on my first playthrough of Control either. I played through it again a second time, and then I was like, right, I know what's happening now, so I'm going to read all of these bits. But yeah, it's not a bad idea to just watch a lore video after the fact. Don't skip the cutscenes, obviously, but yeah, watch a lore video.
Yeah, I probably should do that. I should catch some lore videos on like Elden Ring and things like that, because I played through those on the stream, like attention split between keeping up with people and keeping up with the game and not dying, and I had no idea what was going on at any point throughout my journey. So I should do some catching up. But I think, unless there's anything anyone desperately wants to throw in there, we should probably move on to our questions about now. And it's a good amount of silence. So the first question is already kind of covered, actually. It's from FCW. Has anyone got to play 3D Super Meat Boy, or is everyone sleeping on it? And I saw FCW say in chat that he wanted his question removed from the list, but we'll get to it anyway. So 3D Super Meat Boy, in case anybody wasn't here when we talked about it earlier, who's played it?
I'm interested in it, but I have not played it.
And Craig tried and gave up because it was too difficult, right?
It's still installed. I may well go back to it.
Luke, are you ever going to give it a go?
Yeah, I said I'm in
Got to level
the
three.
You did on your handheld. I remember.
Right.
Sorry, it was a long time ago. It was a long time ago.
Yeah. I'll go back to it for sure.
Okay. How do I say that? Kugasignus. Somebody has asked. Sorry about your name. I'm terrible at reading. It's very difficult at this time of day. Any suggestion on how would Xbox improve their financials? This quarter, they went quadruple negative. Windows OEM devices revised -2%. Revenue -2%. Gaming revenue -7%. Xbox content and services -5%. Xbox hardware -33%. So we kind of touched on Xbox and what they're doing right now, but the hard bottom line of financials, Satya Nadella has come out and said that they're having a big hyper focus on being more consumer friendly across Windows, Xbox, Bing, and whatever else they've got going on for consumers. But I don't know, what would they do? How are they going to fix the problem from a purely bottom line perspective? What's their best short-term, long-term bet? I mean, you kind of already said your long-term bet would be to cancel Game Pass and make Call of Duty exclusive, right?
Yeah, that's no. Well, yeah, you can do Call of Duty exclusive if you can sustain it, and if you're willing to lose money until you make money someday. I don't know when that day comes, but yeah, yeah, cancel Game Pass, put everything exclusive.
Anything though, does it? Like we said, make everything exclusive to get people to buy the console. But if you want to make money, don't make everything exclusive. Just put it everywhere.
I'm saying that revenue in particular as a metric is one that's kind of easily manipulated. And we've seen it. If you looked at last year's financials or the year before, like time's a little bit hard to keep track of, but everything was up like 60% or something. And they did it by acquiring Activision Blizzard King, because revenue is a number, it's how much money you're making. So if you want to just put revenue up, short term, quick as possible, acquisitions. All right, it's a stupid answer. It's not necessarily a sensible answer, but that'll do it. And actually, Asha Sharma has said that their new North Star at Xbox is going to be daily active users, right? Easy. Go and acquire Duolingo. Boom. Daily active users through the roof. Revenue, boom. Easy mode. I could be CEO of Xbox.
Did you see that the CEO of 343 and Joseph Stein, I don't remember his name, Joseph something, yeah, they are like CEO of, they become CEO and something in Duolingo. Did you see that?
I didn't know that was happening.
That was a weird thing. Yeah, that did happen.
Inside agent, getting ready for the move over to Xbox.
That was a weird one.
Yeah, I mean, but the revenue numbers, though, like their target as a company overall, despite what they say about their North Stars and how they want to get there, steps to be there, it's profitability and growth, right? Sadly, growth is probably more important than profitability, but there's no easy answers for them. They're trying to cut away all the fat and excess that they've taken on over their overestimating COVID kind of period that the industry did. And yeah, we'll see what they do. Luke, did you have anything that you wanted to add on that question?
No, I think it's just difficult, isn't it? Like, there's no easy answer for it. So we'll just have to see what.
There is an
moves
easy
they
answer.
make, really.
Duolingo.
Oh well, Duolingo. Yeah. Apart from that.
All right, let's have the next one. So 58 on Twitch. That's not true. Twitch is like 2 people. That's not a question. I don't understand. So, with that being the case, I think we've run out of questions. So, the person that asked the question about Xbox and the revenue and so forth, so I'm going to say your name again. Kugasignus, I don't know. I would say first remove all first-party games day one in Game Pass, or make a higher tier for $40 a month. Yeah, I mean, Game Pass is the most experimental part of their strategy. So if you're looking at levers that they can pull and tweak and change to have an impact, that's the one. I guess that and exclusivity are the 2 big ones that they need to balance. I missed others. Oh, there's more questions. I'm a little bit confused by what's going on right now. There's more questions? There might be more questions. I'll hold this little thought for a minute and we'll see what comes up. But yeah, everything's fallen. It's gone off the rails. It's a disaster. I don't know what's happening anymore. So there are no more questions. We have got to the end of the questions. Okay, that's it. That's good. That's done. Which means we've had a relatively nice, gentle, easy, relaxed chat and conversation for our returning podcast. It is, unless these guys have had a terrible, terrible time, it is regular now. We'll be back next week, and we'll be back the week after, and we'll be back the week after, and we'll be back the week after. We're going to be running this on the Saturdays as we should have been. So if you have enjoyed it, please come back. Oh no, we've lost another Isla's unsubscribing as well, which I don't think is true. So, Craig, how did you find your podcasting debut?
Enjoyed it. I didn't think I'd have much to say, considering I don't play games and I don't like fun. But yeah,
well,
I have enjoyed being here.
That's not the answer I expected. I thought you love games. I thought it was me that you say that doesn't like games and doesn't have fun.
Well, we've all had a turn of it now, haven't we? It was me
all along. It was always you who didn't like them because I'm the fun one. Yeah, I knew it. It's been a pleasure. You've done well. You've had smooth conversation. Everybody's been very pleased, I'm sure. People that are watching, say nice things to Craig if you can. Luke, good to be back. Or did you hate it?
Oh, I hate it as usual. Yeah, don't know why I bother.
It's not the answer I was hoping for.
No, it's great. It's great as usual. I'm great for Craig to be here as well. And Amine, obviously. Yeah, very much enjoyed that.
Not me. Damn, I got left out. It's great for them too, but no worries. I understand. It's what I deserve. Is there anything else that you want to say before we cut off, and then we'll get to Amine as well?
No.
Fine answer. Amine, thank you as well for joining us and for helping Craig earlier with his technical setup. It is all much appreciated. Amine did fine work in the background, putting together a massive list of topics that we actually didn't particularly look at, but I still appreciate that you went and did that, and it will become useful in future, I'm sure. So thank you for joining us. Is there anything that you want to say to people?
No, I would say just thank you for watching and supporting Gaming Arcadia, and join us on future podcasts. This will be going weekly, hopefully this time more consistently. And there is also other stuff. Hopefully we get to community games, back to streaming those, yes. I guess. Right?
Big shout to community games, too, right? Let's get more people back to community games.
Come on, people. Join us. Especially we have Forza coming. I know that we have episode 13 in the chat. We have FTW. We have some Chronic hates racing, but yeah, join us. Isla's also playing. I think she was playing with us some community games. Luke, you used to play with us Halo. I remember thinking this guy must be a hacker because he's too good.
We'll go back to that. I mean, I never played Forza, but I love Forza, but I'll be shit. That's the only problem.
Oh no, we don't play to a massively high standard. But we do run the community games on Fridays, and people should get involved in the Discord, in the community games, all of those kind of things. Yeah, we did have one more question just snuck over the line before we close off, though. And Luke, you know it, so we'll go straight to you. What's not to like?
Oh, like Resident Evil movie trailer discourse generally. That's not to like.
But we just did some of that.
Fucking idiots. So, yeah, I know, but it's the thing I like the least this week, so I'm gonna have to say it again.
Okay, Amine, what's not to like?
I was expecting this from Luke, but I'll say it's fuck IGN because they're on a roll like Crimson Desert 6 out of 10, Mouse PI 6 out of 10, Saros 7 out of 10. Even the voice actor. Yeah, he roasted them and wore like the shirt with 7 out of 10 on it. Yeah, IGN is like a little bit annoying these days, and they got replaced into trouble by saying it's
the headline.
AI based game. So they are a bit problematic these days.
Okay. And Craig, what's not to like?
Incorrect USB cables. That's what's not to like.
Very specific.
Caused me a lot of heartache this afternoon.
Yeah, I spent all day trying to get it to work. He tried so many parts.
Not to mention the driving that I did to find the correct cable as well.
Oh, don't make me feel bad. I sent you Haribo. I asked you, do you want a cable? And you said, no, I've got loads.
It got loads of cables, just not the right ones. But the Haribo problem.
You like overclockers there, sir? You like overclockers?
No, it was a big bag of Haribo.
Oh, it's a big one.
It was a big bag.
They send you the piddly ones. Yeah,
they do.
Nice.
They do. Yes, episode 13, but USB-C cables are not all created equal, and it caused a little bit of a problem earlier. So, doesn't matter. We got up and running. We're here. We can see Craig. He's glowing, and we had a lovely time. So, for me, yeah, get in Discord, get on community games, be here for the podcast. I'm also doing some more streaming on the Acer Games channel as well, which is where I play my games and stuff. Hopefully more stuff coming all of the time. And again, thank you. People that have come and watched us after our 2-3 months off, whatever it's been, and our spotty, inconsistent appearances. Thank you for sticking it out. And we'll see you next time. Okay, let's start.